Welcome to Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday night hump day edition. It's already the middle of the week. Where's the time going? Who knows? Who cares? It's your man, 50 grand, Kevin Barnes, the mouthpiece of the movement, the militant with a microphone, aka the Negro Whisperer. And I wanted to do Outlaw Radio Black-ish. My information gang should be joining me shortly. But I wanted to get it kicked off because I wanted to say welcome to the show. And I wanted everybody to know that we're on tonight, and you can tell a friend to tell a friend. Call in. The numbers running across the bottom of the screen 262-202-5131. Hit us up, man. And all of the shows that we do are archived on my personal Facebook page, on my YouTube page. It's all kinds of different ways to get access to the show. So welcome aboard. Black-ish. What happened? What's the big news? What's the elephant in the room? Of course, we have, for the first time in 20 years, elected a new mayor. So we're going to talk about that. This election was a stressful one for Black Milwaukee, if you really think about it, because I felt like our choices didn't have enough diversity within them. I felt like we was kind of boxed into a corner with this election. I felt like, both options were okay. So let's talk about the candidates and let's talk about who won, and let's give a congratulations, because if nothing else, a Black man is the mayor of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't, however you feel about him, I don't like him. He a coon, he Baird's boy, whatever. It's a brother. And if you really look at it right now, this should be a fruitful time for us because we actually have a Black mayor and a Black county supervisor in DC Crowley, right? So let's see. I don't know. I'm not promising anything, but if nothing else came out of this positive, we got some brothers in charge in Milwaukee for the first time in a long time. So let's give that up, right? How you doing, man? Welcome to the show, bro. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. Blessing to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Ain't no thing, man. Ain't no thing. This that boy Rail, man. Tell the people what you do. Get your books. Talk about what you do, man.
Oh, okay. I am author of 12 Steps to Becoming Your Own Dope, where I discuss the importance of emotional intelligence, critical thinking. Also have a gratitude journal to help cultivate gratitude. It's a 30-day gratitude challenge, the multi-dimensional mindset gratitude journal. And on May 8th, my third publication will be dropping on Amazon, 40 Ways to Get $40, a book kind of targeted towards women entrepreneurs.
That's what's up, man. I always tell people if you're doing something positive or progressive, hit us up, man. I believe in bringing positivity to the table, man. It's not enough of those positive images in the community, right? We can do more than basketball and rap. So look, shout out to Kamara Tyler in the chat room. She said, and a Black sheriff in charge as well. Shout out to Earl Henning. I see you, my brother Walter Lanier. He said everybody black. Right. So now who you gonna complain to, right? Who you gonna complain to, right? So here we got brothers in charge. And like I said, never have we had a situation where everybody was happy, right? Like it doesn't matter who you are, everybody just can't be happy. So I say let's just cherish the fact that it's a brother in charge. 2 years. He's saying in 2 years Milwaukee will be a stronger city, a better place to live. Hey, Barrett had 20, and look what he produced. So I feel like we can at least get his brother two, right? So shout out to them brothers, man. I feel good about that, man. Black, all black everything, right? Like something we ain't never had in a while. Walter Lanier, shout out to, like I said, shout out to my brother Walter Lanier. He said the mayor, the county executive, chairwoman of the county board, the Milwaukee County Sheriff, the city attorney, the police chief, and the city treasurer are all black. You gotta love that. I don't care where you from, what camp you in. You gotta love that, man. So I hear people say, "Oh, this person is a tool of the system, and this person is a hack, and this person is." Hey, man, look. What I'm saying is, it looked good for sure. But the show is Black-ish, man, and I want to get your take on this election too, and what you think about it. Of course, the turnout was low. I don't think people kind of felt a certain kind of way about voting. A lot of people in Milwaukee basically feel like there would there's no use on voting, right? Like they ain't gonna do no good or whatever. It's too far gone. What you think about that attitude? Because I don't know if you politically inclined, like on the vote shit or what. So what you think about that?
As far as me, I don't blame folk if they feel that way. Honestly, like with this election, I was kind of. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It was like you said, it wasn't really much to vote for. You know what I'm saying? We got the one cat that everybody saying was the peeping tom and shit, and then honestly, I've been a bit leery of just like looking at for you know what I'm saying. We got one cat that everybody.
That's on me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, like I was saying, I don't know. I don't be wanting to be that person who just voting for somebody because I feel they look like me. Like
Okay.
I'll be wondering, like, okay, which one of them is gonna be trying to mandate jabs and shit? Like that's what I look at. Like that's what I care about.
Policy, right? Policy.
So my thing is, I look at New York and Chicago, and like I don't plan on visiting any one of them places any soon until they fix some shit around there in them policies. So now, just me personally, I'm kind of nervous because I don't know this cat policy. And like I said, I look at New York, I look at Chicago, and like even though COVID dying down and shit like that, you still got mandates and all kind of other stupidity. So I'm a bit, I ain't gonna say curious. I'm a
Apprehensive.
bit I'm a bit reserved to see what happens. I don't want this to be part three of the bullshit that's going on. We too close to Chicago.
The noise around this was that Cavalier or Chevy, or I guess I got to really learn his name now because I'll be calling him all kinds of shit, right? Caprice Classic. No.
I had a Corsica. That was my first
Right,
car. I had an '88 Corsica. I bought
right.
it when I was 16.
But the talk has been that he's just an extension of Barrett. He's been Barrett's boy. He came up in Barrett's office as an intern, I believe, or a staff assistant of some sort. And so people, a lot of the policies and procedures and all these kinds of things you've heard him talk about have been the things that Mayor Barrett was on.
Just
And so,
part
like
two.
now, we got to understand this. Like, I deal with a lot of pissed off people, and they're pissed off for various reasons from different, perhaps sometimes because of they the situation with poverty, and sometimes the situation with lack of opportunity here, and all these kinds of different issues that we face here. But everybody's not mad. And I've seen a lot of people expressing that they were happy with the way Barrett was running the city. Now, as a person of color, I don't know how you could be totally happy with how Mayor Barrett was running the city. I guess that's the whole thing with this brother, is that people feel like he's not going to come with any kind of um benefits for us. And that's the sad thing about when black men do get elected in positions. They always have to go in and keep stressing that I'm going to be everybody's mayor. I'm going to be everybody's president. I'm going to The white dudes, the white politicians don't have to say that when they run it.
Right.
They won't never say, I'm going to be everybody. It's They just talk to every people say it's a white man. He talking to all of us, right? Like we can really feel that way. So, we'll see, man. I say this: 2 years, he can get his opportunity. You get your shot. 2 years, and I turn to say, hire your ass, fire your ass. If he hasn't done what he said he would do, if things have gotten worse, because I feel like this, we really shouldn't have anywhere to go but up. I mean, you think about some of the situations that happen in the city of Milwaukee right now. We should be done hit the bottom hard enough to start some sort of upward trajectory, you would think. So, but I just didn't hear anything, and I kept saying that about both candidates. It was like a lame duck election. Like both candidates kind of put you to sleep. Uh, when I heard them in debates and forums, but I didn't know how I would feel with Arthur Fonzarelli, granddaddy, running the city. Wow. Right? I felt like black people had they say in this, right? Right. But apparently there's a lot of white people who must have voted too. But he got 67,000 votes. I mean, so and he blew him out. He blew him out. So the people have spoken apparently, and this is who they've chosen to be the mayor. So all of us who may not have liked, him or his policies or whatever. I think as black people, we got to at least try to support him. I'm not saying you going you might still be like, man, forget that. I think we should try. I keep telling you, I believe in intentional solidarity, and I believe in public displays of intentional solidarity, showing that we are making an effort to be one nation and trying to move together. And not I'm not saying everybody, because everybody ain't going nowhere, right?
Right, right.
And that's the 100% rule. 100% nothing is true about people, right? Group. So, but I'm saying we can have a majority amongst the minority. Well, we're not necessarily the minority in this city anymore either, and I guess that's what these elections reflect. Let's see. My brother Walter Lanier, he said, "Truth nowhere to go but up. I want to see him build with the black aldermen. He should build with them." Ew, man. You know what? We get I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of faith in the Common Council. I mean, and I've heard this when they were majority black, and Ashanti was the president. I heard about this new day coming of leadership, and there was a lot of brothers getting elected into positions then, and everything. Oh, we gonna get it moving now. We got it now. And 5 years later, 10 years later, shit's progressively worse, right? And so you say, well, how that happen? I got to start looking at the people who are in charge. So, I just haven't seen I haven't seen it. You are more than welcome to call into this show or come in the chat room and tell me where the Common Council has provided some real solid leadership over the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, we've been through a whole pandemic, all kinds of crisis and all kinds of shit. The homicide rate is on its way to being triple what it was at this time last year. Crime is off the chain. Reckless drivers, we still have, we still have a homicide problem.
Right.
We still have an infant mortality problem. We have a discrimination problem. So, and this happened under black people. So I'm just saying, like, okay, maybe now we've moved up a level. Now we got the mayor, we got the county executive, we got the heads of the beast, so to speak. Let me see. Walter said, let me get this back. He said, none of them endorsed him. That's his squad. He's got to go get him on this. They got to get him on the same page. He said, I'm just saying he's got to get his squad moving. That's what leaders do. Yeah, but I mean, how long do it take? I mean, because damn, a lot of our elected officials are incumbents, and a lot of them have 10 years plus. And when I look at the city and I say, I just don't see where we've made gains that would necessarily say, oh, y'all need to be reelected. I would think we need new blood. Like if you look at Cavalier or Chevy, whichever one he is, if you look at him in the city hall as the mayor as new blood, and that's a good thing, then I think there needs to be new blood everywhere. So I think some of these aldermen probably need to go and move on to do something else. And it ain't personal, it's business. Like we talking about as residents of this city, black residents of this city, where I think we're probably about 40% of the city. Come on, man. We should have way more things popping for our people in this city. And it just doesn't happen. And so as the mayor, he's got so many failing mechanisms around him. The fire and police commission, which is, I guess they're trying to put it together now. We just got a police chief. And so we have an issue now where is it understaffing? Is it the utilization of resources? What's the reason why because if they have a over $500 million, $800 million budget, why are they failing so horrifically? I guess, these are questions that have to be asked of the mayor. So welcome aboard, man. Bernie Mac said, welcome to the game.
I mean, like what? I mean, I heard them saying, safer Milwaukee and all that shit there. But like honestly, I be trying to figure out what could they possibly do that, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I know they were saying like more police and shit like that, but even with that, you see the cycle. More police,
right. More
somebody that look like us get killed or hurt,
mm-hmm.
and then we march. And then, you know what I'm saying? I ain't seen shit change. I just see the cycle of more police to crack down on violence.
Mm-hmm.
They actually like might even crack down on some of the culprits of violence. But then if the public don't agree with how it was done, or don't like certain aspects of it, it's like we kind of run into brick walls. Cause no, I don't want to see my people get fucked with or anything like that. But on the flip side of that, you see some of my people out there like driving on fucking grass, doing donuts. So it's like, damn, what you damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I'm saying? So how can they resolve that?
Oh yes. Now you just hit on. I always say our issues are systematic and systemic at the same time. So it's both of them. Now you just talked about the systemic part of it. What's really wrong in the community? Because we got to change a culture. We have to change kind of like a mentality in our community. Miss Courtney, welcome aboard. How you doing, sis?
Oh well, yourself.
Man, holding on like a hubcap in the fast lane.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. How you doing, Real?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm well. I
That's
apologize for
good.
my lateness. My child, he was having one of those asthma type things. He, couldn't breathe. We can't let nobody die. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You don't
know,
want to be on the air when he dying in the background talking about, hey, I'm on
exactly.
Outlaw Radio.
Right.
Right.
No, I hope he's okay. I hope Shorty, but it's Outlaw Radio is Blackish. But I'm somewhat of a prophet, because years ago, my first show that I did internet wise was called Chocolate City. And because I always love the song Chocolate City by Parliament. And if you never listened to it, shame on you. And it's about DC, because they refer to Washington, DC as Chocolate City, right? And so I used to say Milwaukee, the north side of Milwaukee, especially the one I grew up in, it was majority black. It wasn't really a lot of white people. We didn't need to go nowhere to get what we needed. Stowe right there, highway right there, lake right there.
Right.
It's Chocolate
Right.
City. So, but now it's really Chocolate City, because everybody in charge is black now. So, and we asked the question, what we gonna complain about now? Like, if all these black people in charge who have jobs, if we can't all work some of this shit out, shame on all of us. It ain't no one person's fault. It's a reflection of all of us.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where we're at tonight. With just talking about the first black mayor. I gotta say it again, regardless
Shout
of how
out
you
to Chef
feel.
Chef. Go Chef.
Man, Caprice Classic done did it.
Chevrolet.
Man, I still
That
want a
nigga ain't
Caprice.
black.
Come on, man.
What up, bro?
What's happening, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good,
Sorry about my lateness, but sometimes I get a little bit busy, man. And I thought I was gonna be able to be on time, but I ain't.
I just all I want for Christmas is for black people to stop saying lateness and start saying tardiness. Like, cause everybody
I like that. I think it's like kind of like ebonics, right? It's one of our words.
It's about to be in
That's
the
one of our
dictionary.
words.
We say stuff for long enough, they throw that shit in the dictionary. So lateness
Yep.
is gonna be a word.
Hey, I remember when I was little, my mother used to get on my case about saying ain't. That ain't no word. That ain't no word. Then I found that shit in the dictionary, and I showed it to her.
No, man. Like I said, man, regardless of how anybody feels, that brother is the first black elected mayor in the history of this rabbit ass city. And
That's true.
Up for him. And so I know, and like I said, I was trying to process having Alex P. Keaton, granddaddy, as the mayor, and I was like, I can't do it. Can I really wholeheartedly support that as a brother? Right? Like, it was a dilemma, but then we just talked about the conversation centered around the brother Chevy and saying that he's not really for the people. He's not really for us. But I'm saying it's a good thing that he looked like us. And the one thing he do know is the north side. His brother just proved that. He's from the north side of Milwaukee.
I think this does the same. It's the same effect as Barack Obama.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, black kids can see a black man in that position and feel like they can do anything. You know what I mean? I think that's the only thing it's good for.
Yeah.
That I feel like.
Exactly.
Only thing we ever get is hope.
Right. But it's gonna be good. It's a good visual.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, I can tell you this. I mean, it's great that you said that, because I swear that brother turned into Barack last night. If you listen to his acceptance speech, me and my wife was tripping. Like, is this nigga turning into he sounded just like him. He was even I was like, he didn't
Hey,
do this.
I think this is taught. That shit is taught, man.
Yeah, you could tell, man. There's some real handlers involved, and see, this is what scares.
Manchurian candidates.
Yeah, all of this handling and this preparation and this prepping and this. That's what makes brothers nervous. Like, see, that ain't no. We be like, that ain't no real shit. Like, oh, don't say this, don't do this, stand up, all that. We be like, he ain't for us. So, it's a new relationship for all of us.
But then also, I'm sorry.
I was just looking at Walter. I guess Walter verifies what I said. He said he been doing Barack check his commercials. Right? That's why last night I was really bugging. Like, this dude, man, did he talk like that before? I guess I never paid enough attention to him before to even know and shit. Like, but he even hit it. He even hit it on his way out with the acceptance speech. He said, "God bless Wisconsin." Or some shit like that. You know how Barack used to be like, "God bless the United States of America." White people like, it's an affable Negro, right? Like, he hit it on one of them, like, "God bless Milwaukee, Wisconsin." Like,
oh gosh.
Like, yeah, right? Remember the days?
Right.
So, yeah, man.
They only gonna let a certain type of brother in that position, too.
Right.
Hey, man.
So, you know what I mean? So even just knowing that says a lot about him.
Okay. Well, we're talking about this anniversary coming up of Jackie Robinson integrating baseball. And we look at this as a great thing. But when you talk about who they actually let integrate baseball, he had to be a prepared kind of certain Negro. It couldn't just be, it was better players than Jackie Robinson. Right? But he was a certain kind of Negro. So we already know, like I always use the word affable. Like, they want you to be non-threatening, because to be honest with you, black males, our masculinity, the way we move is scary to some people.
And predictable. They want you to be predictable too.
Well, they want you to be controllable.
Exactly. Yes. Almost the same thing. What I mean by predictable is like they want to know what you're gonna do in certain situations. Right. You know what I mean? Are you the type of brother that's gonna go against the grain? No, we want to know what you gonna do. You know what I mean? We want to know how you gonna ride.
You been gonna slap the shit out of somebody at Juneteenth Day for saying something about your wife? No, I'm just kidding. I had to throw that one in there. Shout out to Rick Aleem Muhammad. He says, let me get him up here. He says, how will he be financed? You said, you asking his financing, who backs him, or how will his finances?
He responding to something that somebody else said.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody was saying something about the mayor, county executive, chairwoman, the sheriff, police chief, city treasurer.
Yeah. And we hold all the offices. All of a sudden, black people got all the offices.
We popping.
Like, holla at me, 262-202-5131. How could we fail? Right? Like, we shouldn't. There should be, no matter if you agree with their politics or not, we got enough black people in positions that something should happen. Positive.
It should. But see, like you said, the thing is, you know what I mean? You got brothers in there. If they ain't for us, ain't shit gonna happen.
Right. Because I heard
like what I saw today already, he talking about extending the rail car, the train. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey, hold on, player.
That's that bullshit, right?
You know what I'm saying?
See?
He talking about the fucking train, man. Is police shooting at people, people shooting at police, cars getting stolen, people dying in these car accidents and shit, and he want to talk about the fucking train.
Right.
Yeah, I heard he posted
some shit Barrett wanted, right?
Right.
What was you saying, Courtney?
I said that I heard that he's focused on downtown. That's like his first objective. We're gonna focus on Van Buren and just downtown areas. And it's like, nigga, what the fuck? Downtown's all right, right?
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Tell your people to sit on their property. Tell your people if they got houses down there and everything, y'all sit on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, what's left because the
Right.
area's already been carved up. You better
It
believe,
is.
you
It
believe this.
is.
It's some landlords down there that don't look like us, right? And they've
There's a
been
lot
in,
of them. There's a
right.
lot of them.
I mean,
Right.
gentrification is the solution.
And that's the agenda right now, I think. When you
That's
talk about
That is
you
their
talk about the mayoral shit, like
that,
even with Chevy, like I said, he talking about building up downtown. The agenda is gentrification.
that's
that's
That's his
always been.
agenda too.
That's
Let's be
always
real.
been.
If he with it, that's his agenda too.
That's always been. Like my grandfather, he drove the city bus back in the 70s, 80s and shit. And when he's gone on now, but when he was alive, that's all he said. He said he seen it happen in other cities. He said
Mm-hmm.
y'all. He said all these black folks getting excited about moving out to Brown Deer and shit like that. He said they gonna move all the niggas on the outskirts,
Right. Yeah.
put all the white folk by the lake. That way, whenever any bullshit jump off, they just shut the bus line off. So
Yeah. They tricking our people. They tricking our
right,
people into thinking
and
they
now
winning by going out there.
right, and now with the Bucks slapping and shit, the inner city, like downtown, about to be slapping. So that's why I say anybody who got businesses still got a piece of a house. I don't give a fuck if it's just the foundation. Y'all sit on that shit because it's coming. But they've been trying to do this for. My grandfather was saying this shit back in the 80s, 90s. You know what I'm saying? Here we at 2022. You know, all them people before COVID shut shit down, all them people got tired of commuting from Madison and Sheboygan and shit to work downtown. They
Yes.
want to be right back on the lake where the Bucks at.
yeah, I think you just have to understand really if you understand Milwaukee and why Milwaukee is set up the way it is and how it's set up. And there's a reason. And you talk about open housing and you have to understand when black people were allowed to live in certain areas of the city and when they were allowed to do so, white people fled the scene. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
now they empowered all these suburban communities around us that are way more empowered than we are. If you go out through there's jobs out there's businesses happening, the shit that's not happening here. And don't think it ain't no crime. It's some shit going
Oh
on
yeah,
too
yeah,
there,
yeah,
but
most definitely.
but I'm saying so those people now, and there's proof that the children of the baby boomers, they don't want to stay and the Gen Xers, they don't want to stay in the suburbs. They like y'all said, they want to be urban. They want to be able to sit downtown in front of a building that's a historic,
Mm-hmm.
historic registry and sip lattes on the sidewalk at the cafe, and then they want to ice skate in the park and shit in the winter and all that. So
Right.
gentrification has always been the long-term solution for blighted areas. Like it always has. You look at the cities around us, you look at Detroit, you look at Chicago, look at what's happened in New York. Like there's gentrification comes whenever area is run down too much and they repurpose it or redevelop it, it's gonna come back in a different entity. And that's what they're gonna do with our communities unless this black squad, this all of a sudden all black everything group of politicians that we have can manage to get something done.
Man.
And everybody, this is why you just heard reasons why black people here are so pessimistic because of the history. Like I said, we've had black leaders for a very long time. So how do we get in this situation? Oh, it's his fault, it's their fault, it's everybody's fault who's elected. All y'all failing at y'all jobs. You know, when you play a sport and y'all losing, they fire everybody. The whole damn thing and cut players. So this is the kind of shit we need to be doing with our government. So like I said, if you black, you got to say let's get a brother some sort of chance. If he want to stress downtown and all that bear shit, then yeah, this is gonna be a long 2 years. It's just gonna be like having bears still sitting downtown. So but I like to say the glass is half full, not half empty, man. I mean, let's hope
Well,
he's in there now. Let's hope he says to himself, I got to do something. But goddamn, that little Barack Obama impression kind of scares me too, though, because Courtney, you reminded me of Barack was a good look, but it was like when he was president, it was like, okay, when it's gonna happen? It was like everybody was waiting, like, and
Right.
it never came. Right?
we got hope and was able to say my president was black. Like that's what we get. That's
Yeah.
what we get. That's what we get. But I also look at like history, and I think about just in history how I guess white supremacy, for lack of a better term, but how they always would have a buffer or a border between them and the slave population. You know what I'm saying? There was always a overseer that looked like us that might have treated us even worse than they did to prove the loyalty. So you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? There's always been placed men in history, and I can't say this cat placed, but so far I haven't seen anybody black in power that has done anything for black people except give us boasting rights and hope.
I don't know about if you look at black politicians and black politics from a historical perspective, I could say Adam Clayton Powell, who was probably the greatest black politician ever, had still to this day had more legislation passed at a federal level than any black politician has ever done. I feel like it just has to be the person who's going to go in there and do it. And there are a lot of black politicians who've been in Congress, who've been in Senate, who've been in the Senate, and they've worked for us. Maxine Waters and people like that. And we don't know all the ins and outs of all
Right.
their policies and procedures that they stood on and went put a referendum or vote in for. But you see them being mobile. You see them being polarized and active. I don't see that in our city from our elected officials. That's why I say we probably need new blood, because when I turn on the news with all of the issues that we have in our community, you would think around the clock it'd be some politician somewhere in the city saying, I'm doing this over here. We opening this. We got this passed. We trying to pass this. You think it would be a steady spirit of activism in the city, but it's just ho hum. It's like nothing ain't wrong. It's.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, I don't see no sense of urgency coming from downtown. And that's what I think a lot of black people don't like about the new mayor is he doesn't act like a black man who is acting with a sense of urgency in regards to the black community. He don't seem like he gonna jump out here and say, man, now, of course, you're gonna do the things, you're gonna do some aldermanic walks. Believe me, y'all, it's about to be a lot of walks and a lot of press conferences this summer. Trust me. And you gotta love black people all in the back when he got elected, yelling in the crowd, "We love you, Cavalier!" Like, oh shit. But he was super Barack though. Y'all got to go back and watch it, man. He was super Barack. He was super Barack. Donovan went to a bar and just had him a beer. Like, it's all good. He just, he took it on the chin. So y'all tell me what happened. How did white Milwaukee let Bob Donovan down? Because you'd have thought the South Side, they would have said, "Oh, we got to make sure." I thought that's what it would be, and it didn't happen. So what's up with white people? Why didn't holler at their boy, man? Anybody got an inclination on that?
It depends on who voting. We don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the turnout was low. So
Yeah. So
obviously,
we don't know if it was young people or older people or
Right.
college students. We don't know. It depends on so many different things.
old people always vote.
They do.
Especially
I seen
old
them.
black people.
They sure.
Old
I
black
seen them old black
Democrats in
folks.
Milwaukee
Yeah, they
vote.
do.
Look, they got them votes in. Look, we got.
Them the ones who did it for them. They got them in
Yeah, they
office
was
because
voting for Chevrolet.
Come on, man. I keep
that's the
telling you.
ones who did it.
See, that's what I keep telling y'all. There's a portion of our population in this city that's older black people. This demographic is older black people. I refer to them as civil rights Negroes, and I don't want to, kind of jump on that because I'm respectful to my elders. A lot of these people's, upper 60s and on, but they
Yes.
were around when you couldn't vote.
Right.
They were around when you couldn't go here or you couldn't go there, and a lot of opportunities or even the illusion of opportunities wasn't even open to them. So they look at it in a totally different way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I done worked in 50 years and retired from Rex North and I've got my house. Get off my goddamn grass. Like, that's their mentality. So they go vote, they go to church, they pay their property taxes.
Right.
And they don't ask for change much because they're like, I'm too tired. Shit.
They just feel good voting for somebody that look like them.
Yeah.
I mean, right. And so they like it's a good thing. You see them, they was saying yesterday, like I seen the older sister, she said, well, they say he's gonna be just like Barrett. I think that's a good thing. I was very happy with Mayor Barrett. I was like, whoa.
That'd be a
Okay.
thing too. Niggas be happy as long as stuff ain't really,
He
because a lot of
he
stuff don't really
he,
affect their personal life too much.
he sure
You know?
did show up at churches
So,
and get hugs. And you did just say it was the church folk that was
mhm.
voting. I know I seen them at church when I used to go.
Y'all can't blame the church. Y'all always putting something on the church. Earl Henning said, let's see in the 2 years that he have left. That's what I said. Since it's only 2 years and this is a black man, I hear y'all. I mean, information gang, word mob shit. I hear y'all. I hear all the conversation that Kamar was just having, the one Courtney's talking about in terms of the challenges that lay there. But just for the fact that he's black and it's only 2 years, I say, let's give him a chance, at least for the next 6 to 8 months.
We ain't got no
how long
choice.
he been in there already?
We ain't got no choice but to give him a chance.
But how long he been in there already though? Because that was like the chance. God damn it! This been
Tell me that let's give him a chance before the.
Kamar, we could not give him a chance by being super negative and not really supporting anything, or just talking down on him in the media. We could be real anti him. Like, I don't want him to underestimate the power of having the people on your side.
Well,
Right?
I'm just saying what I say by we ain't got no choice is he in office regardless.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but
we ain't got no choice but to give him a chance.
But he already ain't been doing nothing, so we need to just
Okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. We probably don't have to talk about him so much. You know what I'm saying? I get that, but we ain't got no choice but to give him a chance.
I disagree. I don't think we have to. Go ahead, Courtney.
Like I said, I mean, he already showed us kind of what route we're going during these pre-months, as acting mayor. So now he's officially mayor. So we're just going down the same path we were already going. And
Well, how about the years he been a politician and ain't did shit yet?
Exactly. So we're just following that path,
Right. I mean, I
So again, we ain't got nothing, but we ain't got we ain't got no choice but to give him a chance. Shit, he in office.
I still disagree. I don't just because he's in office, I don't think that means we're giving him a chance. Meaning we accept him as a leader and we're going to.
Well, that's something different. Now I'm saying let's accepting is something different.
They need to be embraced by the people as leaders as well, or none of their policies will stick. So whatever he's coming out with, I said let's at least give it a look, because he can come to the point where whatever he tries to do in the community, people don't support it and it's gonna fail. It's gonna fall flat. So, or we could be like, let's see what the mayor talking about. Now, it's hard to say that because black people be mad. We hold grudges. Black people be mad at you forever. Like, dude beat up my cousin when we was in 5th grade. Like,
we ain't got no choice but to see what he talking about.
I feel like you can start a campaign right now that could be very negative and prevent him from getting reelected.
Who's gonna start that campaign though? Like, who really gonna put that effort in? Which one of these black folks gonna do it? It'd be somebody white, but I don't think any black folks are even gonna put the effort and energy in because they don't care.
I think white people like him. I think he makes white people very comfortable. I think.
Well, he's Barrett's guy.
Yeah, so he's straight. You know what I'm saying? Because
black folks he want a longer train downtown too.
Yeah. So he good. Like I said, white folks like him. Black people ain't gonna do nothing. Boom, he good. Just like with Barrett. Shit, it's gonna be the same thing. Black folks we don't be protesting and no, we don't want this. We don't like it. We just be letting shit happen, not paying attention. So yeah.
Earl Henning said he working on bringing back African World Festival. I mean, yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But I was thinking more like, some sort of industrial park being built and being full of tenants that can employ people from the community.
Well, he failed at that. Because he didn't bring it back.
Well, I mean, okay. I mean, that's good for vendors. Right. And I know like said, I'll be down there selling my t-shirts. Shit, what you talking about?
Shit, I'll be down there with my books. And my CBD and shit.
Kamar, like, I'm already down there. I'm already down there and they ain't even brought it back.
Meet me on the Summerfest grounds.
Right.
Hey, get your hustle on, man.
Driving on this.
I'm in a silver Chevy. Meet me at the Summerfest grounds.
Is that a Nature's Mature sign at Summerfest? What the hell is going on?
Is he talking about doing anything with like the Northridge area? Like anybody talking about?
That discussion is being had, but and I don't know if that's part of Milwaukee technically. Okay, so I guess there's some
Yeah, the
litigation.
Northridge part is, it's a
Right.
little further up Brown Deer. I think,
So-
man, if
so
they
they're
get that
saying-
shit cracking, I mean,
But it's an argument. It's just the old dilapidated structure. Like, I mean, so they were saying tear it down. Well, we don't want to tear it down. So and then there were supposedly some Asians who owned it and were supposed to redevelop it. But see, we talk about Northridge. I'm talking about Midtown, right?
I mean,
said,
the whole area. It's so many buildings just on like the upper end of Brown Deer.
30th Street corridor, a whole bunch of shit to work.
Man, we can
On
get
them
some
fine
skating
lines.
rinks. We can get
That's
all
all I'm
kind of
saying.
shit cracking.
Cavalier, do something.
Right.
So many
Right.
buildings.
You know what I mean? That's how, and that right there is how you gonna win the community back over by
Right.
doing shit. No actions. You know what I'm saying?
And then
That's
that
it.
allows
'Cause
for
your history
revenue to
don't
be
say shit.
generated.
It's his history that got people talking down on him.
Yeah.
In order to change it, you know what I mean? He got to do some good shit. It's just like my testimony. I did a bunch of bullshit years ago. But you know what I mean? Now I'm doing good shit to make up for it, to balance
Right.
this shit back out.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's all about action.
But
If you want me to ride on your team, you got to do some good shit for the people now.
somebody gave you a chance, though. Like I said, they had to give you a chance. So, and you can
No,
say,
hold on, Kev. Hold on,
Yeah,
Kev.
support
No,
you.
hold on, Kev. Didn't nobody give me a chance.
somebody
I
support
chose to go sit my ass at home and learn the shit I did. I chose to live this shit. I chose to make the different changes in me. Didn't
Talk
nobody
your
give me a
shit.
chance.
Talk your shit.
you sound like
I did
Snoop.
that work. Shit.
You sound like
Talk
Snoop
your
Dogg.
shit.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, I
You
sound
gotta be
hey,
like that, man.
What's the
You
name
gotta
of
be
that?
your
What was the
biggest
name?
advocate. Don't nobody
you
know
know
what
what
the
I mean?
fuck you've
Hey,
been through.
if I ain't gonna give myself the credit, who will?
Right.
And this ain't really about taking credit from yourself. What I'm saying is somebody had to support you. Somebody had to purchase your product. Somebody had to show you the way. Somebody had to share some knowledge with you. Somebody gave you a shot. They said, okay, I'm going to look out for you.
And before that, I was doing, Kev, and before that, I was doing the work.
Right.
But
So
I
what
wasn't
if?
just selling. I didn't just pick up and start selling herbs, and here I am. It wasn't like that. It wasn't that sweet. It wasn't that easy. Trust me. It was nice. I sat up and found some shit about myself and cried, nigga.
Right.
This shit is deeper. It's deeper than what the eyes can see. And see, I talk about these politicians. These politicians need to go through these changes too. This self-work.
That shadow work. Get that shadow work in. Get that self-love in.
But what if he is satisfied with where he is at and what he has done? I mean, he ain't did shit. He didn't climb the ladder, not doing shit. And look, not doing shit and got me to being mayor. So now I can just continue not really.
Hold on. Now we keep saying he hasn't done shit. So we don't want to make blanket statements. Meaning he hasn't done enough in our eyes for the community. Meaning he hasn't done something positive. There are some people who would disagree. Some people who would say, "Oh well, he just went in a march in the neighborhood and did the anti-violence, gave $8 million."
It's okay. It's always going to be some disagreements.
So I mean, I don't.
So he donated
all
what?
of these, this is
It sounded
all
like he
of our
just
opinion.
marched. What did he do?
Well, he did more than some people are doing. Because some people ain't doing shit. Some people are actually going in reverse, doing foul shit in the community. So we can't really shit on somebody for their contribution and then be cool with somebody who ain't doing shit.
Okay, but what did he contribute?
Once again, the action that he took in just doing his nonviolence march and going to the houses and talking to people and then giving this $8 million in, which he didn't really give it to him. He kind of passed it that Barrett had, but he passed it along. It was a positive gesture. There was a message behind that was anti-violence. That's something positive.
He ain't did shit, yeah.
Well, I mean, we recognize the people who
because he had a job. Because he had a job, and he was the one to pass it along.
Exactly, and I'm sure they told him he had to go on the walk.
It ain't like whoever had that spot would have did the same thing.
Hey, Mayor, you got to go on this walk. It ain't like he would have just did it. No, he ain't did shit. So no,
I don't know how you can say that though. How can you say that? That's a question of character. So now we question his character.
No, because even I heard him on the radio when he was talking about he popped up
in the shooting,
and the way he talked about him going to where the shooting was, he kind of made it seem like it was an inconvenience. He was like, and I actually stopped. I took out of my schedule. I was supposed to go here and do this and this and that and this and that, but I actually took it out of my way and stopped and went by the shooting. And motherfucker, that's what you're supposed to do. You're the mayor. You're supposed to say fuck your meeting to go to where these things have happened. He made it seem like, y'all should appreciate that I changed my schedule and made my way down there to see what happened.
You know how many he would never get to a meeting if he had to go to every damn shooting in on the north side of Milwaukee. His ass might
I don't
well
expect
go to
him to even really be at those like that. But the fact that we're saying him popping up and doing walks is doing something. That's not doing anything.
I think
that's
it's
not doing anything. That's not helping anything.
When
That's
do you
like the
start
white folks can be
seeing
Rob
people?
Rufus King with the signs, Black Lives Matter, honk for Black Lives. What the fuck is that changing?
Hey, then you talk about when do you start seeing this shit? Around election time.
Y'all in the chat room and the people out there listening, y'all let me know how you feel. I mean, I hear a lot of pessimism. I hear a lot of and a lot of it's based on, like you said, maybe his track record but I don't, unless you can really articulate legislation or whatever he's done. If you have all those facts in front of you, you can start reading them off. Right?
Look at that.
You know what I'm saying? He was part of this, he was part of that.
I'm looking.
My problem is he ain't doing enough. He's been part of this common council we had, right?
Is that what it's called?
Wasn't nothing shaking during then when he was doing that. I mean, we ain't heard nothing about dude. He ain't no pillar in the community.
No.
But who is though? Was Barrett? Like, I mean,
hell no, he wasn't, and that's his boy, and that's another problem. Now we got another issue. Like I said, he a follower of Barrett. He come in talking about the trolley downtown should be bigger. We got all these other issues. We got issues in our community, and he talking about the trolley. So I question his character.
Listen, now he's talking about some other stuff too. Let's not just make it like every speech is about the trolley. He's addressed some of the other issues.
Yeah, and it's the same shit he talked about for years. Nobody ever did nothing.
Right.
We see Lena Taylor more. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I feel like she done did. I've seen her and heard her more. I've never heard a Cavalier until now.
At least we see Lena.
Oh, I love Lena. Lena's a
friend. At least we see Lena in the community talking to people.
Exactly.
Hold on. I love Lena, but her job ain't to be seen, is to do. So I love the fact that she's out and about in the community. And Lena has done a lot of things in Madison legislatively. I'm saying, but her job ain't to be seen. I don't need to see you at the club and at the bar. Go mayor. Go do your job.
But then we don't want to see you when you campaigning either.
I ain't seen that. Cavalier, I don't want to see him, and he ain't doing nothing either. I'm trying to Google some things he's done, and there's nothing to find. I'm going.
Don't just come smile. Don't just come smile in my face when you want my vote. Smile in my face all the rest of the time too, motherfucker.
All politicians play the same game though, and I can tell you in Milwaukee, in terms of who funds it, they all play for the same bosses. So you can say, "Oh, this person, he be at the joint, he be at the." I seen him at Pick and Save and all that. You can say that, but they all at the end of the day work for the same.
But that's why I said at least we see Lena.
They all work for Nation Consulting and the Working Family Party and the School Choice. These lobbyists, they control everything. So when we get all worked up about
I'll be out here
doing what, that's what we need to be focused on.
It's a big difference. It does make a big difference when we see them in the community. It does make a big difference.
It doesn't, but that's not their job. I can't get all excited because you always out
but you see, this is you talk about leaders, man.
So listen, tell me this: if we see my sister Lena out in the community all the time, and she's been in power in office, elected for 20 years, nothing's happened. It's gotten worse under her watch too. So as much as you love her, how much do you let her know? Like, it's cool to see.
But but like I said, Kevin, you didn't hear me a couple minutes ago. I said at least we see Lena too. I didn't say she didn't do shit or she did shit. I said at least we see Lena. That's the big difference. Like, don't just come smiling in my face when you want my vote. Come smiling in my face through the whole period. I mean, whether or not you're not doing shit or whatever, that's still, I got a problem with that too.
I didn't say you said it. I said it. I didn't say you said it at all. It was completely my statement. And I'm saying all the bad shit that's happened in the last 20 years, it's been under her watch too. So for me, the fact that you're visible don't necessarily mean I'm like, oh, once again, nothing but love, no beef. But just because I see you all the time, right? I mean, you got to go work. If you a Senate, go Senate, do something. I don't.
But she do. That's the thing. We're saying about Cavalier, he don't do shit. We just start seeing you, but we don't care that we see
I don't
you.
know
But
the
besides seeing
He
you,
just
you
got
don't do
elected.
anything.
I'd have seen
So
Lena
it's
Taylor
like,
calling motherfuckers Uncle Toms and shit
he don't do shit.
on
And he probably
news.
won't.
Yeah, I like Lena better. Yeah, I like Lena better.
And like I said, I'm going through Google trying to see is there anything he's done, anything. And I know I'm going through the pages and there's not.
Courtney, he just got elected.
I know, but there are things showing from 2021
But he
to
still,
2020.
yeah, but he still should have a track. He still should have a track record.
Done.
He still should have a track record of stuff he worked
Exactly.
on and stuff he did, right?
There's nothing here.
So you want to judge him for what he done as an alderman? Now look, now you would have to
And
That's
hold
the
on,
point.
and what? No, we're judging him for what he hasn't done. Let's be clear.
Okay.
We judging him for what he hasn't done.
Earl Henning, what is Earl Henning saying? He said Milwaukee 7 is the biggest winners of the city of Milwaukee. Is that what they call it? The Milwaukee 7? Is that what we calling this? Does it have a name? Somebody count. Is it 7 of them? The Milwaukee 7. That's some crazy shit right there. That is crazy. I kind of felt like there were some other candidates that I would like to see, get through the primary. And like I thought the brother Ernell Lucas was a viable candidate. I thought he would have brought a breath of fresh air. He didn't make it through the primary, so I don't know who is his people. And so he didn't get there. But once again, I don't want this conversation to get twisted. I'm saying that it's cool for you to be in the community. I'm not like ever shitting on a politician for being active in his or her community. That's fine. I want you to be visible, but I also want you to go and do your job so things can change. So when you show up, you got good news for me, right? Like, so I'm judging all of them on their track record. That's why we say it's business. It's not personal. You might be the nicest person in the world. Hell, some of them alderman people might be the funnest to kick it with. You be like, oh man, this motherfucker had a good time, man. But in terms of his position as a leader, it's like, damn, you suck, man. Y'all suck collectively. So, it's not about who's for me. And this is me saying this. It's not about me seeing you. It's about me seeing you do things.
It depends on where I see you at, Kev. That's what we are saying.
Right.
Like Lena Taylor don't just be at barbecues and shit like that. She be at school meetings. She's there standing up talking about different shit. We're not just at parties and shit. He's not anywhere doing anything. We don't see him at the fucking school meetings.
All right. Well, I don't know where I don't follow him.
I'm looking right now. He don't be nowhere doing anything. I'm going back to 2019. I'm going to 2018.
I'm looking forward to being pleasantly surprised. I mean, you know me and my views on politics is this. I really don't feel like, I haven't really been involved in politics because I feel like you can't vote for the shit you want. You got to be able to pay for the shit you want. So, like, I'm trying to run my money up before I get, into politics. But I mean, I'm hoping, like I said, I don't know the brother. I would love for him to get in and do all kind of great ass shit. Like, two things he could do for me is get some grants cracking for black folk in the cannabis industry or the hemp industry. I mean, it's still a cannabis industry. Shit. And currently, my mother at a standstill with this damn PNCC, them prenatal care coordinators, because she was in the process of getting licensed, and one of the healthcare providers decided that they're going to stop giving out memorandums of understanding. So now her application sitting in limbo. She got all the credentials, all the licensing, all that shit. And we waiting on the healthcare provider, but the state is saying we can't jump over that provider. So the provider's policy is right now, because there was so much bullshit going on, just like back in the day with the daycares, like people starting to burn up the prenatal care coordinator shits for the pregnant women. So, but now for all the good, legit people who, in there, so, and they keep pointing the finger at each other. The state is saying we can't do anything with the healthcare provider. Healthcare provider saying they can't do anything till the state allow them to. So we in limbo. So two things he could do for me, and I'll be his greatest advocate, is do something for me as a cannabis entrepreneur, and with policies regarding that. And hell, get United Healthcare to start kicking out memorandums of understanding again so we can get this PNCC shit cracking.
Well, I was unfortunate enough to go on a podcast with the brother, so I talked to him. And I didn't like shit he said.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
So this is why I got my stance on where I'm at also. Like I talked to him and he wasn't able to answer none of the simple ass questions I asked him. You know, Kev, the simple questions we asked was asking the politicians on Outlaw Radio when we had them coming in. You know what I mean? And he buck dancing and shit. Then he tell me some shit I really didn't agree with. And he didn't fit. He don't fit, man. He ain't one of us. I'm gonna say that.
It's been a lot of people to come on Outlaw Radio and didn't answer the question.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, some of them are politicians, some of them ain't. And I've asked them, and I see one thing about me is I listen to every show because I love the sound of my own voice. Is that weird? Okay. I don't know. That's a whole other show, right? Like, well, Courtney, like, I got a book on that. But no, so I listen, so I hear the questions that I ask people who come on sometimes and say so and so, and they never answer them. They'll dance around them. And so politicians and people who want some kind of position, something from you, they do that anyways. I thought we called that game.
And them the problems, and that's the problem we have with it.
So Roger, my boy, shout out to Westside Zeladon, Roger Zeladon. He said people in the hood got to change. That's where it starts first. Right. Well, okay, there we go. So Rail had alluded to that earlier, and we kind of got away from it, where he was talking about, and I said that it was the systemic part of what affects us in our neighborhood, the behavior, the culture, the cultural norms in our community. There has to be some change within that community because one politician will not be able to change this all by his or herself. You could put Martin Luther King in office, and if the hood stay grimy and gritty, then it ain't gonna matter. So there has to be, look, the violence in our community right now is inexcusable.
We seen that on the Boondocks.
We can't even give ourselves a pass on this, man. And it's all of us. That's what I'm saying, us, me included, right? The violence in our community is inexcusable. Come on, man. Like, for real, like, you could say, hey, they put the guns out there for us. They put it there. Okay, but we're still the active, willing participants.
Hey.
And that's a hard truth for us to accept, right?
So I remember saying a while back that, you know what I mean, you talk about wellness in the community, we all have to start with ourselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? As an individual. Before we can even look at healing the community, if we heal ourselves, the community will be healed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, people waste more time being critical of the next man instead of doing, like, it's paralysis by analysis.
So right,
what you do is you so hard and so critical of Chevy or Cavalier or Caprice Classic or Riviera, whatever his name is, you're so busy being critical of him that you're not doing anything because you're taking a lot of time. He's living rent free in your head. So that motherfucker, I'm gonna get it. But in the meantime, you stagnant. It's about what are you doing in the community?
Well, what about when it's somebody like me complaining about him? He don't spend much time rent free in mine unless we talking about him. You know, Kev, I don't really get with the politics either. You know what I'm saying? You know that. But I mean, again, he don't stay rent free in my mind. You know what I mean? I'm always doing something for my shit. I'm always working on me, always doing my shit and running and ripping and running and making tea and all this. I mean, you know what I mean? But I got a problem with the brother.
You know what that makes you, though?
We can't. He's the mayor. Shouldn't we be critical of these politicians?
Once again, Kamar, you know what that makes you? All the stuff you just named off makes you an exception, not the norm. Because if everybody in our community was moving with that same kind of energy, it'd be a lot better. It'd be in a lot better place. So obviously you sticking out like a sore thumb. So we ain't talking to you.
I'm using me as an example. I'm only using me as an example.
Okay. You gotta give us a break.
So are you asking, like, how do we help the average man be more mindful of self, or
Well, people don't just jump on his path. People got to be led. So if that's a path that leads to prosperity, then we need to figure out a way to lead people down that path instead of being like, oh, fuck.
That's why I write my books. That's why I publish my books, to teach, because I mean there's a lot of shit. Okay. Shit. Okay. There's a lot of conversations we need to have in the Black community. But before we can even have them, a prerequisite is emotional intelligence. Because as soon as somebody get ass hurt, they stop listening because they're so busy being defensive. So before we can even, like, we need to talk about all kind of, like, the shit that they post on Facebook that I usually just scroll past and chuckle. the 50-50 conversation, child support, shit like that. Before we can even have those conversations, we need to be able to have a dialogue where people are mature enough to objectively listen to facts instead of getting defensive because they didn't like what they hear. So that's the whole reason I wrote my book, 12 Steps to Becoming Your Own Dope, because the revolution is self-evolution. It starts in your mind. Learn how to love you correctly and treat you correctly. Then you can love your lady and treat your lady correctly. Then together y'all can love y'all kids and raise y'all kids correctly. And that's how you change community. Right now, these kids out here feeling neglected. These kids feeling like they ain't seen until they hop in a whip type shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is the reason I write, because first we got to teach each other how to really love each other. And then my book, 40 Ways to Get $40, it's a play on the comical shit. But in reality, it's 40 ways for women to make money and be self-made entrepreneurs and bosses from the comfort of their own home using their fucking cell phone. I used to work for unemployment for a few years, and I used to hear people crying because they didn't have no way to feed their child. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, and they used to trip because they couldn't do 4 job searches in a week. You like a motherfucker working 40 hours, you can't do 4 job searches. So my thing was, I'm not about to judge these people. I'm about to try to meet them where they at. So, it's like, yeah, shit. Do your 4 job searches, and then while you searching, while you scrolling Facebook, hell, cut on a YouTube video, learn some new shit. Learn how to put it in your own words, and now you flipping that knowledge. I used to hustle, so I like flipping shit. I like middleman and shit. I call myself a broker, but that's all I do. I go learn some shit, put it in a way that is comprehensible for the average person, and then I write a book. I package that work, because now I'm selling people time. I'm not selling a book or product. This shit took me 3 months to put together, and now it's at your fingertip for you to learn in an hour. I'm not selling you a book. I'm selling you your time back.
Yeah, this all sounds like wishful thinking to me, right? Like, so, and I luckily I'm they show me your friends or show you your future. So luckily I'm with a lot of positive people who think on a higher level, and they have an understanding of who they are and what they want, how they moving. But that doesn't represent the majority of our community, right? Like,
all we can do is live before them and try to interact with them. And
I can't live with them. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I can't live with them, because the mentality is counterproductive for a person like me. Like, I need to be able to leave my shit and have some limited guarantees, because it ain't no guarantee when you move that your shit still won't get hit up or something won't happen to you. I need to lessen the likelihood of it. And the reality of this is, if I'm living in these certain neighborhoods and I'm doing well and I'm prosperous, the stick up man cometh, right? The car cometh, right? Like, everything gotta be chained down in my backyard. I want to chill. I love the community. But all of a sudden, damn, that was too close for comfort. Not saying moving way out is the solution, but we tend to want to get away from that kind of, because you put all of the poorest people in the city together within a couple blocks of each other, of course you're gonna have chaos. So I can't really live in that community, because I've kind of moved away from that mentality. Not saying I'm better than anybody, but I'm saying where I'm at. So the reality of this community is, we have more people on that other side than we got that have crossed the threshold, right?
We do.
So I cannot let them off the hook for some of the shit I see happen in this city. Like, you know damn well all of us done been somewhere in this city and seen some shit and said, that don't make no goddamn sense. Like, it's like, like, for real? Like, and it's absolutely stupid. So we got to change that shit. We got to stop giving ourselves so many passes. Oh, well, that's just how it is in the hood. Bullshit. It shouldn't be like
not just how it is, right?
No, and we can't. We can change it. And I just feel it just takes. It ain't gonna be no big move. It got to be incremental. Like I said, 2 steps. Teaching people how to value themselves, and helping women, find other means of income so that they can give more time to the children or parents. Period. I ain't gonna say women, but this book for women.
I was like,
but you know, just parents. Period. Like that's my goal. My goal is to be fully passive income, so I could be taking my kids on fishing trips and shit while my money racking up. But two things we can do is help people, teach people how to, you know, be healed of these traumas, because you seeing traumas in action, man. You seeing people who have no other stimulation, but like your body gets chemically dependent on the feelings that you feel. So if you always used to bullshit, you literally do get addicted to bullshit. You get addicted to the cortisol and adrenaline that your body produces when you in that fight or flight bullshit mode. So we have to teach people how this shit works so that they can try to, you know. So that's why I write, because I feel it starts in your mind, and then it start. Then the second step is your home, your mind, and then your home, and then your community.
I feel like we need to tackle the children. You know, I feel like with adults, especially in Milwaukee, I kind of feel like it's not a lost cause, but there's a lot of niggas trying to save, and a lot of them don't want to be saved. You know what I'm saying? But if we can get in all these schools, and like I said, if we were able to somehow, they need to do some type of funding so everyone can see a therapist once a week. Somehow they need to be able to get them kids to be able to see a therapist in the school.
Y'all know what, bro? You can write this in your book, and I want all y'all to, when people go see their therapist, tell them this: Black people like being fucked up. It's a chip on our shoulder.
Yeah, you're right, Kev. Black people like being fucked up and don't even know it.
You know
we wear it. We wear it. It's a t-shirt. It's a jacket for us. And a brother will tell you quick, you know, I'm from the hood. Mm-hmm. Like, he's very proud to say, man, do you know how I grew up? I grew up seeing people get killed. They ain't saying, man, it's just, man, my shit's all discombobulated. That's a chip. That's a badge of honor for us, man. I came from the gutter. Like, if somebody say, well, I ain't really come up that rough. You know, my parents was pretty wealthy. You know, I had it good, man. I went off to Ivy League school. Oh, fuck you soft. Like,
hey, I just recently watched a video on Facebook about what's dude named FBG Duck, the rapper from the drill rapper from Chicago that got killed.
Yeah,
watching the video with dude, man, and like they in the hood over there, right? And man, the way they carrying on and kicking it, like with the guns and the shit they talking, you know, he like, man, I don't beef over the rap. You talk about me, I'm just gonna pull up and kill you. That's just how it is. That's just how it is around here. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no big deal, all right? Fuck you mean it ain't no big deal? You just pull up and kill a motherfucker for saying something about you, man. Like, we fucked up out here, man. You right. Black people love to be fucked up, and they don't even know it.
You addicted to the drug.
For the reason of what Rail just said of the cortisol.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Or the old Ingersoll or the Crackersol or whatever. I don't know.
What I mean when I say cortisol, I'm saying because cortisol is addictive. That's a fight or flight hormone that your body releases.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when you get mad, you get upset, you get scared, cortisol get produced first, and then adrenaline gets produced.
Right. Okay. And then if you go a certain amount of time without producing it, your body says, hey, we usually feel anxious and angry at 2 p.m. What the fuck going on? Do I need to put something on your mind for you to give me my fix? Like, you know.
That's why you need a woman. That's why you need to get a woman. That's why all these hard ass dudes, really, their problem is they backed up. They need to get a woman. So
you know what I'm tell you. When
right, kid. Something else.
You're right, kid. Quiet as it's kept. That's one of the reasons that women aren't good for men.
Right. No
shit. You know what I mean?
Listen, can't nothing stop you from whooping somebody's ass like a woman, especially if you like her. And she said, "Oh, baby, don't do that." You be like, "Boy, you lucky today. I was gonna whoop your ass." Okay, unless he, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I was gonna say most of them be crazy. When they be crazy enough to want to feel the cortisol, they're usually just crazy. Like I said,
they addicted. It's a chemical.
Yeah, they're usually gonna create a problem, even if they get a woman. They're gonna create a situation. So there's a problem. So there's beef. So they still get that. An argument, some type of fight is going. So
we celebrate it.
A lot of it is a byproduct of trauma, though. If you're used to growing up in trauma and being stressed and scared and shit like that, that's why when people like, I used to hear females say, I had to, that dude was too boring. I can't fuck with him. And I used to think they was crazy until I started learning like psychology, and your body craves the familiar, even if the familiar is fucked up. So for you to be in an unfamiliar circumstance of no drama,
Right.
motherfuckers literally be fiending for some bullshit to jump off because they body telling them to.
I've
I
had
hear
numerous
you.
dudes say that. Like, man, I ain't used to shit going this smooth. I'm used to like and really be wanting to start a problem because they not used to shit just going
Hey,
smooth.
Hey,
Excuse me.
how you get caught up into that shit? Then you start telling yourself, you know what I'm saying? I don't take no shit. Tell them motherfuckers, I don't take shit. Now you standing on it because you said it, and you know what I mean? Like it's all so fucked up in the head.
Yeah.
You telling yourself you ain't gonna take no shit. So as soon as somebody say something, you know to set yourself right off.
Shout out to Earl Henning.
Instead
He
of
said, I guess he's referring to my comment about that's why they need a woman. He said so that they can take it out on her. No, I don't mean that at all. First of all,
no,
let's get that out
hell
here.
no,
Let me say
hell no.
this. Let me say this unequivocally. I don't give a damn what you going through. I don't give a damn what substance you on. None of that matters to me. There's never ever an excuse for you to hit a female. And if you're in a situation where you like, man, I had to, and you shouldn't be with a female that even pushes you to that. Right, like Kamar
That
was saying
means you
about
don't want to be with you.
It don't have to
process
be
of learning
violence
how to
though.
make the herbs. What'd you say?
It don't have to be violence. When to take it out on her don't mean you have to slap the shit out of her.
No,
You can just break her down with words, break her down mentally,
no,
just
and I'm not
causing.
even. I'm not even thinking about it in the sense of, oh, okay, I'm mad over here, so I got to punch something. I'm saying to have a woman where she can calm you down and punch you in a different direction. Baby, let's go eat. Or she starts a conversation with you about something else and takes you away from it. Like more times than not, a cat who's been in a lot of trouble, one of the things that he gets redemption from when he come home finally, it's a woman usually involved who can get him and say, look, I want the best for you. I want you to stop being on that bullshit. I'm going to show you a whole different way to live. And you end up with your woman in that regard. I don't mean like, oh, well, good thing I got a woman at home. I'm going to go home and beat the hell out of her. I'm pissed. No. I didn't mean that at all. So
Man,
I'm saying Earl Henning said, hurt people. That's what they do.
That's
Facebook
what they do.
users, that is what they do.
That's what they do.
That might be what they
and they
do.
don't know it,
Endorsing. I wasn't endorsing that.
and they
So,
don't realize what they're doing
Right.
or
So
why they're doing it.
and they don't realize it. Even to another point that you like, I don't. I know which angle you was going in as far as like having a clear head. But like there's some niggas that feel like I need a woman. So like when I'm angry and shit, it's time to fuck. And it's like until you learn how to sit with your emotions and productively handle, like I put in my book, the average person when they feeling frustrated, they want to fight, fuck or fight their frustrations away. And either way, like there was a time when I used to always use sex as a frustration type thing, and that shit was like salt water. It was never enough for me until I learned how to take care of myself inwardly. Because if you try to use external means to fill internal holes, energy is eternal. You either gonna be a fucking energy vacuum sucking up everybody else shit, or you could generate that shit inwardly and express it. But ultimately, it still come down to us learning how to be whole as a man, whole as a woman, emotionally, physically, all that shit. So that when we do have there was shit that happened to me, and I still have trigger moments. But because I'm willing to put in the work and took the time to learn the shit, I can sit down with myself and say, okay, why are you feeling like this right now? All right, what is this feeling requesting be done? Like I can have conversations with myself. So I ain't got to get a woman to talk me out of it or let me take my frustration out, shit like that. So that's a cool ass pacifier. But even with a pacifier, if a baby don't get no milk, it's gonna starve.
Hey,
Pacifiers is just to quiet it up
and
for a second.
the build on that, you know what I'm saying? You have to learn yourself. You have to learn what brings you back. How to calm yourself down, because the woman might not be there all the time. You out here in the streets and shit. You know what I mean? You got to learn how to bring yourself back. What relaxes? What calms you down?
Yeah.
And then remember to do it when you do get upset.
It sounds like some of y'all just need to grow the fuck up. Because if we, first of all, let's go back a ways. Okay, so to say, okay, I'm upset with somebody, so I want to fight or fuck. That's a very immature perspective, right? Okay, because to want to fight, you want to get into a fight. That's very dangerous, and it's
Yeah.
counterproductive.
Yeah.
And then to say I want to, no, I know, not. I'm not saying. I'm saying for people out there who,
yeah. I'm just speaking for me. I don't want to say
so,
I'm gonna
nobody
say
else
my
out
baby
there was
daddy, he the
feeling like
same
that.
way. So like,
No,
so if
I
they
was
say,
like
oh,
that. So yeah, I was
I'm
very immature
frustrated.
at that time.
I'm frustrated. I want to fuck my frustrations away. As you
Man,
get
I
older,
was
and as you mature, you understand that's
right,
cool, but that's a temporary distraction because unemployment is unemployment, right? So unless you can fuck some gold nuggets or some diamonds
Right.
out of vagina,
right,
you got to understand that
Hey,
might help. That might help, but I need to be on problem solving mode. So when you grow up, you learn how to get in problem solving mode. Like, okay, this is what's going wrong. I need to go to work right away, dealing with that deficiency. Right now,
right.
some brothers might say, "Well, I got a woman who paid me for that." If you're a gigolo, that's fine. If that's what you do, so I'm gonna go get my frustrations out.
well, hey,
You
really,
talk about emotional maturity, learning that these
Uh,
vices, like, oh, I'm frustrated, so I got to smoke a fat ass blunt. That's only temporary because eventually you gonna
you still got
remember
the problem. You
that you ain't
still
never
got
right,
smoked
the
right.
and you broke. So
right.
so that's the point, Kev. That's why I say that we need to shoot towards the children. Because my baby daddy, he is just like that. He gets mad, he wants to fight, he wants to argue, he wants to fuck. But then it's like he's not finna do any self healing. So now we got this person raising my motherfucking sons.
mm,
So we need to target the goddamn kids. Be
I got some
saving the
more books
children
on
that are
deck if
coming
you
up.
wanna if you wanna gift them a book. I got some books
Right.
on
Like,
deck. Cause that's my goal. Like y'all had some heavy hitters on here the other day with that Heal the Hood. Like I appreciate that shit because I never knew they existed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, these are the people I need to network with because I've been trying to get my book to kids so that they learn, know thyself, value yourself, stand on your own self so nobody else's opinions can knock you off your square type shit or pressure you into doing some shit that you don't want to do for the sake of fitting in. So like that's my goal is to catch these kids, while they're like maybe puberty, pre-puberty, while they're trying to build an identity for themselves so that they can know, hey, your best friend need to be your motherfucking self. If you learn to love being with yourself, you will never be lonely because you enjoy your own company.
shout out to a Jamu Butler and Heal the Hood, no doubt. That was a great show. I had a good time, man.
Yeah, that was fly as
Those
hell, man.
conversations are always fire when we have a great group of people who have it's a think tank. And that show is archived in the People's News Network. It's on my page. It's on our YouTube page. It's shared all over the place, multiple groups all over, and people support it. Like, and shout out to everybody who was on that show. But I do think something like important because once again,
Yeah,
I keep talking about intentional solidarity. I'm gonna keep hammering that concept home as long as I possibly can, meaning that I am showing a conscientious effort to be at peace and with as one with my people. Will it work always like I want it? Not necessarily. I understand that, right? I'm a realist about it. But I want people to know on the outside who are watching us, I want them to see us moving together, saying,
right,
we as people are really making an effort to do us. Because I think we need to move away from the fact that for so long we've almost celebrated the division amongst us. Oh, light skinned motherfucker. Oh, fat motherfucker. Oh, broke motherfucker. Rich motherfucker. Uncle Tom, Coon. All the shit we call each other. We get to arguing about the argument. I wanted to switch. I want us to show conscientious efforts to say, you know what? As far as we all good. Now in the house, we might have a motherfucking problem. Like
right.
I might have an issue with you when we get in the crib, but it's like my relationship with my brother. We go through all kinds of shit, ups, downs, ins and outs. We moved some furniture if it came down to it, if we were still both young and wasn't old and broke up. But I mean, we have growing up. But the one thing about it was you can't touch him. I can say whatever I want about him, but you can't say shit. Matter of fact, stay out of our motherfucking business, right? So I feel like that's the way we need to be moving as a people. So I talk about intentional solidarity. So when you say Heal the Hood is a gathering of positive people trying to do a community resource fair and provide some guidance and provide some lights at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, you're right. It's a powerful thing. I just hope that it's a safe event, and I hope that people respect it enough and cherish it for what it is, and don't go down there on
Right,
some bullshit and
right.
fuck it up for all the well-intentioned, good-hearted people. That's my prayer for it. That's my prayer for it. Anytime there's more than 4 black people in the room, I start praying. Oh Lord, I hope don't nothing happen. Y'all know how we is, man. Y'all know how we is, man.
But you know that also, honestly, that you know, like you said some real ass shit, and it made me just think about like, man, I don't know if he's still alive, but if he is, I hope so. Shout out to Dr. Mbalia, Africology and Blacks in the Media at UWM. It just made me think about that Willie Lynch shit, you know, that divide and conquer and you know, light against black or like that's one thing we do need to work on. And again, it goes to back to that emotional intelligence. That's a prerequisite because we got to lay down differences, even you know, you just see so much division in our community, whether it's religion, sexuality, skin tone, gender. Like, you know, if we can learn to move for the betterment of our position in this country and in this society, I mean, you know me, eventually I still want my land and my guns and my do not enter sign. You know what I'm saying? But but until then, I'm trying to
I'm a
move in
gun
solidarity.
guy. I totally believe in bearing arms. That's real for me.
Yes,
Uncle
yes.
Muhammad, he said, what did you say? How do you say it?
Mbalia,
That he
Dr.
passed? He or
Mbalia.
she passed. He said
It
the
was
doctor.
it was a guy, Dr. Mbalia. His wife actually was a professor at UWM too. Dope individuals. But I had his Africology class and I had his Blacks in Media class. And that class, if anybody could look up some YouTube shit or anything, like we need to understand the importance of icon, you know, of our image in media because again, TV wasn't put there for your entertainment. TV was put there for your programming. So when you understand that shit, you can objectively look and always see the overlay for the underlay. You know, like
Yeah,
we even got different characters, like even for like the black woman in media. She either playing the Jezebel, that's the, you know, the harlot, she playing the fiery one who is hard to control and talk. Like all that shit is put in the media to perpetuate certain images. And then we take it on feeling like that shit, like we gotta do that to be cool. And
yeah.
then that's another symptom of what you was talking about.
So I
The
said, like,
design dysfunction.
Even when we see this, when we watch the news and we see how they portray us on the news, this shit gets shown around the world. So then you
Right.
understand why people, when people come here, they think all black people is the same way. So they treat us funny just like white people do.
Right.
well, you see the evidence of even in the Ukraine, they're telling volunteers with the Peace Corps that if you go over there, expect to be called a nigger because the
Right.
only image that they get of black people is the ones they see on television and the African athletes. So yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
understand the importance. I totally understand the importance of how our image is conveyed and the narratives that are written. And so, like we talk about that all the time, why it's so important for us to support black platforms and black people who do things that disseminate information and give exposure to things that are positive and progressive in our community because they're not going to do it for us and it's not their job to. We should be
Right.
we should do that because if we love ourselves as much as we say we do, as much as we say we do, because a lot of black people, I love being black. Yeah, bro, black power, and we'll run another black person over for a pair of Jordans in a truck with some rims on it, right? I'm adding a little bit to it, obviously, but you know, it's 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 the understanding of the reality versus what we want. I want people to be together. I want people to be as one, but I understand there's going to be some issues. I tried to get down with grassroots organizations in our community, frontline activisms, running with the Black Panthers, going to this, going to that. It's one of the most dysfunctional environments I've ever been in. There's so many characters and so many clowns behind the scenes, and I do good by not calling people names because Kamar when he first started counseling me on getting my energies correct, he said you got to get that out, kid. Because I used to be the type that I'm gonna call you and listen, motherfucker. What you gonna do? But I don't now. But I seen behind the curtain. There are a lot of clowns. These people who you see on the news and everybody who I'm for the people and so many ulterior motives. So it made me disillusioned. So I just kind of backed up off of it. Like, you know what? I could do bad by myself to quote that old song. I might as well just move on my own and do what I was doing anyways. You know what I'm saying? Via my platform. So it's a clown show a lot of times behind the scenes. So I sometimes I'm pessimistic about that as well, because I know people and Milwaukee, they will support you and follow you to the end. Like, damn. I mean, you know, like I said, a lot of leaders have done some shit you probably would be surprised by, but you know, that's a whole
Hey,
other
Kel,
shit.
you right. Hey, you right on the fact that it do be a clown show out here. Yeah, there's a bunch of motherfucking clowns out here. Cause see, remember how I be talking about how you be saying you be talking about like you would crack a joke or something and say conscious people or whatever, and
Right.
then always interject and say, "Well, hold on, Kev, there's levels to this shit." You know what I mean? Conscious is just being aware. You know some stuff. What are you aware of? What are you conscious of? You know what I mean? And then the average person that's gonna call themselves conscious don't even understand it. Okay, you just socially conscious.
Right. I
You
mean,
dig what
until
I'm saying? But
you
when you become spiritually conscious, now you start doing this work on yourself.
right, right. And
You see
until
what
you
I'm
know
saying?
yourself,
And
you
now
don't
you
know
start
shit.
doing less clown shit. You know what I mean? Because you know better. You
Right.
learn to live better. You learn to act better. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When you know better, you do better.
Yeah, you gotta
You know
grow
what I
up.
mean? But like I say, there's levels to it. First, you become socially conscious. You start getting mad at all the shit that's going on out here. And then you start going deeper with it.
Yeah, man. And y'all
And
need to
then you
realize
become spiritually conscious.
the day of the Geechee is over. Brothers my age, brothers my age. I'm telling y'all, we had a good run. Don't listen. This is real spit. We had a good run. The 90s, the 80s and the 90s was the shit. I would
Hell of a
never
one.
trade. I would never trade coming up in the 90s for all the tea and China to
But
me. It was,
nothing.
but it's over, right? We're old now. A lot of us older, bro, we gotta stop with the bull. You gotta grow up, man. Because
Right. You gotta grow up. The party gotta end sometime.
some of this foolishness it reflects on our community, because the lack of brothers in the community to do what we need to be doing is because some of us still want to be, man. I know you was the man, bro, but that was like 94. That's just damn near 30 years ago, man. Like,
Yes.
it's kids who was born the day I graduated from high school that's grown as a motherfucker right now. Like, damn, like, they got more kids than me. So it's
Man.
over. We gotta adjust. My generation has to adjust to where we are now. We need to start assuming leadership and assuming roles in the community to build, because a lot of us still holding on like, man, no, man, I'm still out here. How many brothers you know and you've known for 35 years, and when you see them, that be the first thing they say, I'm still out here. Like,
A
that's a
bunch
good.
of washed up. It's a bunch of washed up players with Kango hats on out here.
Yes. Yes.
Come on out,
Give
come
it
on
up.
in the rain, man. Y'all,
Give it up.
we gotta build this community back together, man. They gotta come in out the rain. I
Start with
don't
the
know.
super old folks though. My homegirl, her daddy,
That's
he's
true too.
60 something. And we was at a basement function where he was the only old man there, of course. We was smoking and drinking, and he like, yeah, I don't need no bitches no more. I'm gonna go ahead and marry their mama. And I mean, they just got married like a month ago. He said he don't need no side bitches no more. In the 60s, where
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
If you still doing it, if you still that old and you ain't changed and you still doing it, that's a whole different thing. You at that point, you a true player. You are what you said you were. You still you thought y'all was faking. I'm because by the
Hey,
time I'm
it's a
I don't
shame how many. It's a shame how many brothers out here still doing the same shit from when we was 20.
Yes.
come on, man.
You know
Listen,
what I mean?
Call
right.
them old young niggas. That's what I call them. Old young niggas.
And I see
I
them,
call
and
them washed up. I call them washed up players.
man, I call some of them cousins, some of them, homeboys.
If
Like,
you ain't having money, hey, look, if that lifestyle ain't brought you a bank, nigga, give it up.
yeah, man. That's why I say it's there has to be a change in the mentality of the community. Now I know that we've been good at avoiding talking about the Chris Rock Will Smith thing, but I promised backlash, right? I promised that there would be some fallout from it. And what did you see this week? You seen Ti go up on the stage because the young sister was on stage in Atlanta doing comedy. Ti goes up on the stage, bum rush the microphone, call all kinds of bitches and hoes because she referenced his sexual assault case. Because he kept telling her to pull off her wig, and she told him, "I'll pull the wig off when you address the charges for all that sexual assault shit." Which, by the way, was
He
dropped
started.
at you.
He
He
Right.
been
started.
abusive and aggressive towards women. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
The
hold
one chick,
on.
Shekinah, that was his wife's best friend, that had a video out a couple months ago about how he always degraded her and talked to her. T.I. been fucked up. I don't get how everybody missing this.
Hey,
He been
and
fucked
he
up.
started that though. In this situation, he started that. Did if he was saying something to her, and then she come back with, "I'll do it when you talk about this case." He started that one. He opened that can of worms.
Well, my point is, this is now we see this now. Whenever somebody and you in the crowd at a comedy show, and supposedly because he's trying his hand at
he doing comedy now. Yep.
right. So supposedly it was an open mic, and he was there, and he did a set, and he was allowed to because he has carte blanche to any club he wants in Atlanta, and it's many comedy clubs, right? So T.I. and people are saying he ain't that bad, right? So apparently he goes, and once he gets off the stage, he starts heckling her. And once again, you got to be careful. Like that's a comedian, and they got the mic in their hand. So while you walking, she got the mic, and when she says charges, now everybody in the room goes, "Oh!" and he snaps. He gets up on stage. He grabs. My point is, what happened with Chris Rock and Will Smith? I feel like Will Smith broke through. He broke a barrier, and he violated a known law forever. Yeah, you let that comedian do his comedian shit, right? Like, and once it was crossed, now you're gonna see this a lot. You're gonna see people going after a comedian for saying it's like it's gonna become a way more dangerous job.
Hey, I think the difference though with the situations itself is she referenced the case that they caught, right, or was fighting. You made a conscious decision to do something,
right?
You know what I'm saying? You made a conscious, hold on, dig this, Courtney. He made a conscious decision to do something. This ain't like getting some kind of illness.
Right.
Either. I think those are two different levels. It's like your dumbass went out, you and your wife dumbasses went out there and did this shit. You know what I'm saying? Over talking about somebody's illness. And I mean, I ain't saying that whatever happened, but you know what I mean? Yeah, I think those are two different things. But shit, T.I. opened that can of worms. You don't fuck with the comedian. Let the comedian come, do their show, get paid, and go home.
So my question would be then for Courtney, you're a female, you are a content creator, you're outspoken, you have a platform. So where's the line drawn at? So as soon as you say something that somebody don't agree with, you somewhere, and so now some dude want to come and approach you, and he's saying something to you, and you respond to him because you got wit too, right? But he don't like your response because yours basically you cooked him. Now he want to whoop your ass. Like, so I mean,
first off, I want to know where the fuck security at, and now seeing all these things on TV and on YouTube, I'm gonna have my motherfucking gun on me and my knife. You know, I keep both weapons. I'm gonna have them both on me. I'm gonna say it in the mic, where is security? And then Nick come snatch my mic in my hand. He's still acting aggressive, like he what? Like you are you gonna hit me? I'm feeling threatened up here. You know, shit could go left real quick.
Right.
I mean, like I said, and you a man, and you in my personal space, and you're being aggressive. You know, it's a whole lot.
I just once again,
he was out of order for that. T.I. is out of line for that.
I think he's wrong too. And this is the thing. I don't think it's different levels because that case is public information, right?
Right.
It's public. This ain't no different than what TMZ gonna say to you when they see you getting out the Maybach at the airport.
Right. Yeah, that's the same shit they gonna say. Right.
Is you gonna grab Harvey Levine, Mike? Is you gonna see? You see what I'm saying? It's like misplaced aggression and anger, and you doing this because you can get away with it. At this point, you've crossed the line. You become a pariah, right? Like, so anytime your ego gets so big where you think you untouchable and you can do whatever you want, because first of all, that's somebody's mama. That's I don't know if she has kids. That's somebody's sister. That's somebody's daughter. Somebody's cousin. So what if they there in the crowd? They're like, T.I. my ass, thunk thunk. That's my cousin, dog. What you doing? I mean. When one line is crossed, several lines usually get crossed right behind it, right? And we in yellow tape. So yeah, I think he was wrong, and I think anybody out there this is gonna happen because people are clout chasers and they want clout and they want to be seen and they want to go viral. There's gonna be people who are intentionally going to comedy shows trying to get at a comic, trying to heckle that comic and then attack that guy. I can see that being like the next Facebook trend. Like, we can go beat up a comedian tonight. As soon as he says something to me, I'm gonna jump on stage and whoop his ass. That's what I think. That's the whole fallout. Maybe I'm going too far. So what? You know what I mean?
Hey, man, but hey, you might not be going too far.
Right. I don't think you are. And I honestly, you know me, I guess I'm gonna have to start wearing the tinfoil hat on these podcasts. But you know, I always think this shit the agenda, you know, because comedians are news reporters that objectively look at shit. Like
Yeah.
they comedians force society to look at itself in a bearable way through comedy. But
Right.
now people so light in the ass that they don't want to look at themselves. And you know, just like the whole well, I mean, so many comedians now, but I felt it, you know, started when, you know, they were trying to attack Dave for a certain shit, and then, you know, and then it just, I really think that's the next movement. Like, you got to look at trends, like, and especially shit that show up on Facebook. It's almost like they pump a narrative. Like when they was trying to go overseas to someplace, all I seen was ISIS on my timeline beheading motherfuckers. And it's like, damn, I can't even put music on Facebook, and y'all letting beheadings get through the crack. So like when I start seeing too much of something on social media, it almost makes me feel like it's the narrative that's being pumped. So I go back to what George Carlin said when he said political correctness is fascism disguised as manners. You know what I'm saying? Because when you try to censor what one person say because you don't like it, you can't say shit when somebody try to get you censored because they don't like what you say. So I think that just like every so often there's the gun control debate, now there's going to be the censorship debate and the COVID 33 debate when that shit come back around, you know, because the world's a stage, man.
The divisive narratives going.
Exactly. And they got to do that shit just like with a wildfire. How you take out a wildfire by causing little bitty control fires around the perimeter. They have to design outrage to stop motherfuckers from coming together and realizing what the fuck we really need to be outraged about.
Yeah, I believe that goes. I believe everything it contributes a small percentage just to make this one big cocktail of madness, right? Like I feel like it's a bunch of little shit that goes into all of this, man. I once again, anytime there's been a person who's outspoken, who really is going to say, I'm going to live by my truth, whether you agree with it or not, that person is always ostracized. That person's always alienated. And sometimes they achieve great fame through it, and sometimes it costs them, right? But, you know, for me, this conversation or this debate about comedians and what's too far and what's blue and this is for black people especially, this is the source of Bill Cosby getting at Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and them back in the day saying, what y'all doing, man? Y'all putting too much out here. This is a bad look for us. And them saying, man, fuck you, I'm getting my money. Even with the way comedy and hip hop kind of got together in the 90s, when we got the Def Comedy Jam, and all of a sudden black comedians went through the roof.
Yeah.
Right. And so all of a sudden this blue humor became the thing. Like all these comedians, like if you wasn't cussing and being blue, we didn't want to see your ass. Like, come on, man, he'd never be on Def Jam. And that became the trend.
Right. That's our comedy. Yeah, that's our comedy. Everything we do is trending. You know what I mean? It's just us. It's our lifestyle. That's
right.
Yeah, man. Will is suffering back. I still say my long-term theory on Will Smith is that he's gonna come out of this swimmingly. His next role, even though they saying they put all the shit on back burner, because who really wants to see Bad Boys 4 anyways? I mean, come on, I love Bad Boys, but at this point it's a little redundant. Right? Mike Lowry 70, okay, and like Earl Hennig said, we are the elders now. You know that, right? Right, you're right. These young boys will remind you, what's up, old school? I be looking around like, who the fuck you?
OG.
What don't you get this JG playing in my car? They're like, yeah, that's why I said, what up? Knew your ass was 50 when I heard Lay It Down playing when you pulled up.
Wow,
I be playing that though. See?
That's still the shit. I was just bumping
you don't
Space
look
Age
like
tripping.
older kids.
Nah, but these young boys said to me other than what's up, old school? I'd be like, oh shit, who we talking to? My son be like, you nigga.
They be calling me ma'am. I don't too much care for the ma'am. I'm like, damn, I ain't even old. Chill out.
My son said they can
tell. I say it just I still say it.
Right.
I still say man.
Yeah, I do too. Well,
yes,
sometimes I don't say shit, right? Like you don't even deserve it. Shout out to Chantel Gwynn. I seen she got some more press for the bone marrow and the drive for aplastic anemia and Team Kaylin Strong. And I seen that in this article, it's in the People's News Network about the racial disparities when it comes to bone marrow donors, and like so kids who have bone marrow sicknesses and diseases, if they're black, they are less likely to find a match than a white kid. So I can't say I donate my bone marrow or whatever, but I think it's something
We
we need
did.
to pay more attention to, and it creates some awareness in the community
People
for people.
always want to argue about are we different? We ain't different. We all the same. We all the same. No, the hell we ain't.
We completely different. Black folks ain't giving up bone marrow. That's why they ain't got no matches. That we gave up more. We have supply for black folks. But I'm saying if it's anything like what Will Smith did in the movie, ain't none of us giving that shit up. Ain't that what he was doing in that movie? Donating, and they put that needle, and then he was hell no.
Did you really just connect Will Smith to a plastic
I'm
anemia?
just saying. I remember the movie he was giving that bone marrow, and that shit looked painful. I was
Yeah,
like,
look.
nigga.
You know, that's how he ended up the last man, the living legend. What's it
He was
called?
one of them.
They trying to R. Kelly Will Smith, man. But like I said, my long-term theory is Will is gonna come out of this. He's gonna get a big time movie. But when he comes back, he's gonna play a bad guy. He's gonna play a super villain. He will be able to play up his new image as somebody who might be a little unstable. Like you don't necessarily want to walk. Because remember, Wayne Brady was Wayne Brady until he did the Dave Chappelle skit. People really stopped fucking with Wayne Brady after that, because once he showed that little vignette that, hey man, that motherfucker might really be edgy on the edge like that. You don't never know. So they eased up off of him. You know what I'm saying? So I think with Will Smith, he gonna come back. He probably win his next
I
Oscar.
mean, in
He'd
that
be a serial killer or something, like
in that Suicide Squad, he was kind of a edgy guy, but I don't know. I think it was like I seen a list of at least 5 movies they talking about is now kind of being affected, and that then they talk about Jada saying she didn't slap him or some shit. I'm like, damn, this brother can't win for you can't win like on the Wiz and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
we should go file a lawsuit saying that we traumatized and we need some pain and suffering.
I didn't hear you. What you say, Courtney?
I said we should go file a lawsuit. Say we traumatized. We need money, pain, and suffering. Said we was watching TV and that slap fucked us up. Said we are traumatized.
Damn.
I'm scared to speak in public now.
Right. Said, ooh.
Right, who will we sue?
That Will Smith. I can't go to comedy shows anymore. I can't take a joke.
The network agency.
Well, yeah, they said his talent agency talked about maybe dropping him, and he stepped down from it. I didn't see reports where he was saying he was gonna go away for rehab. Him and Kanye going together, I guess, because Kanye got to go that shit.
Oh, you see what his wife did?
If that was said, they playing, man.
You see what
right.
she did?
I can't. What'd you say, Kamar?
I said if that's what was said, man, they playing. This just one big joke, dog.
Well, I know for real. They're saying he was. Courtney, I don't know if you heard.
I said, did you see what his wife did?
Who, Kanye West? No, I didn't.
Yeah, so you didn't see the pictures of her boyfriend, you know what I'm saying, with his daughter, with Kanye's daughter sitting on the boyfriend's lap. And he was acting like letting her drive. They was alone driving.
You married a white girl. That's some white girl shit. Like, I mean, come on.
Kanye finna lose his motherfucking mind because he a black man. You let my daughter sit on someone. Ooh.
He should be expecting it. That's some shit that they do. Like,
he didn't expect it because I didn't expect it. So I know he lost his mind like the rest of us black folks did.
I wouldn't have lost my mind over that shit. I would have laughed. Like, dude, for real, that's how y'all getting at me. Listen, all of that, like, it's funny how we'll get involved in that, and then we'll say other shit is staged and fake, and we shouldn't pay attention to. That shit is staged too, because we know Kim Kardashian will call the paparazzi and say, "I'm finna be at Target in 5 minutes," and hang up. And then you be like, damn. And so she probably set that shit up too. This chick knows how to do it.
She got famous off a scandal. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't no Kim Kardashian to the Ray J video and shit. So I mean,
I think she's trying to make Kanye go insane. Because like I said, he finna lose his mind. Even if she is staging it for Kanye, this shit is real, and she's making him go crazier and crazier.
I don't think he as crazy as he putting on.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think he's crazy, but I think this shit is making him upset. This would make him. If I was a dad, I'd be like, motherfucking.
I think he's surrounded by yes men and enablers, and he does a lot of things because he understands that at his age and at his stage. Because think about it, who has a 20-year career in hip hop as an artist? It's very hard to do. You got to keep creating this kind of buzz for yourself. Now, if we're gonna say Kanye's disturbed mentally, I think he's not, because when I say, you know who is disturbed mentally? Donny Hathaway, and he jumped out the building, jumped out the window of a hotel and killed himself. So when I look at Kanye, I say he faking it. There's so many stories about Donny Hathaway kind of losing his grip, and it's real shit that happened where his career was like nah, it's Kanye still doing this down to 2. After he do something crazy, he look at the camera and be like down to next week. So,
but that don't mean you're not crazy. There's so many different levels to being crazy. Like
I think everybody got different mental illness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody do. We all got different thought patterns, different mind, you know what I'm saying? Different mindsets and shit. Everybody got different issues. We all been through different shit. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with Kanye. Kanye smart as a motherfucker. He marketing.
Right. And they probably
went up here with Donald Trump and put that red hat on and shit. He had an album coming out.
Right.
Every white motherfucker in America damn near probably bought that motherfucker stream.
He a billionaire.
To see what he got to say. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he do this shit, man. Right. And then you look at Kerry, you mentioned his 20-year career. You got to know how to do it. You got to know how to stay relevant.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because for shit, he did make some whack albums during this, or I would say albums that I thought was whack.
Right. I mean, people, Wayne, shout out to Wayne Richards, my homeboy from the Twin Cities. He hit the Cash App. Shout out to him. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Rob Brox too, who hit the Cash App. People hit the Cash App sometimes. It's a San Francisco. I don't know. Should I say that? I don't know. Pause. I shouldn't have said that. I was trying to quote the commercial, but I said a San Francisco treat. Somebody might misinterpret that. Like, you hear what that boy said? Like, black people will put gay on you. I don't care if anytime you get any kind of notoriety, black people say, he gay, right? You be like, God damn, man. He ain't been famous long enough. Yeah, ain't a motherfucker. I know a dude he used to go with. Line their ass off, right? Had to throw that out there. Oh man, no, but yeah, man, Kanye, if he needs help, I hope he gets it. But the one thing about it is I think he's at this point, money and fame and that whole experience of being with her and seeing how to really manipulate the game put him on another level. Yep. Like he was with the one, their whole family has had a TV show that lasted for 15 years and they have no talent. They're not actors. They're not singers. They're not rappers. They're professional shopperers. They go to the mall and spend money and drive fancy cars. It's to the point where they're about to bring that show back.
Shopperers. That's another one.
These white girls go get the creme de la creme of the NBA and the rapper black men, and sisters in the hood like can't even get child support from the dude who album ain't flopped and shit. It's horrible that I say it like that, but I'm saying these white women, they've learned how to flip the game. These might be some witches. We always tell you notice the dark hair, Eastern European, kind of Slavic, whatever they are.
Like Armenian. Yeah.
Right. What? Right. So I mean, Kanye obviously all these dudes who and they say, well, you get money messing with her. You get, but who's really rich or who does well after it's over, right? Like so after you done. Look at Bruce. Look at Bruce Jenner.
You gotta be a special nigga to still be popping afterwards. Kanye doing it. Kanye's still relevant. He's still doing this thing.
That Tristan guy, he's still straight. He did not throw a girl up and still out here just living his life hooping.
He's all over the place. He got like 50 kids by like 15 women.
He do. But he ain't went broke though. See, he's still balling. He ain't went broke.
Give him a couple years, right?
Like it might go back. Right now he's quiet. He's working out. He got time.
Man. Hopefully he learns some shit to make that money work.
Right, to make it stretch and flip. He got time.
Man, Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner went from an Olympic athlete to a woman after fucking win. Like, and I think Pete Davidson, who was a comedian who had the greatest classic joke on Kanye who said, how bad do you have to fuck up as a black man to send a Kardashian to the white man, to send her back to the white man? Like, that's a good ass joke. Right? Like, yeah, it's DL Hewley who said that. Like, yeah, you really, how bad was you and shit? So yeah, man. Once again, I hope those brothers get help. But I do think freedom of speech is what we looked at in terms of what the fallout behind Will Smith is. Now everybody gonna want to challenge a comedian. Now everybody's gonna want to, and shame on y'all, man, because we need comedy and we need comedians, man. We need that. Because I think the social commentary that's generated by somebody like a Chris Rock, Pre-Slap, and Dave Chappelle, it exposes a lot of truth and a lot of reality that's going on in our society, man. So shame on y'all, man. Y'all know that the House of Representatives voted to legalize marijuana. They're trying to decriminalize it. Now they're saying the likelihood that the Senate will approve this is slim to none. But there's a conscious effort to legalize marijuana, and not only legalize it, but to decriminalize it. And Real, I heard you talking about saying if Chevy, if Caprice Classic or whatever his name is,
Chevrolet.
right?
I still want a '96 Impala, man.
Well, if
That's the car I still want.
if he wants to think outside the box and he wants to say, okay, maybe the next wave is something that has to do with urban agriculture. Because if the gentrification is coming and the little hipsters want to live, then we can sell them little vegetables. We can sell them, sweet potatoes.
Hey, that's
eat all that shit. So why not do hemp and give black people a way in?
That's what I do. I mean, that's what I do. I really want to, and I unfortunately I haven't been having the time because between my job and my other businesses, I really do want to learn how to find some funding or like a grant or something to teach. Give me a little spot, teach outside gardening on the outside and teach indoor gardening and show people you could like microgreens right now is real big. Like there's motherfuckers making 6 figures running a microgreen company from their basement. So like if we can do shit like that, so I really do, if anybody out there want to connect with me or shit, let me know. But I want to see the shit to where not just legalized, because unfortunately what happens when it's legalized, they open the doors, but like I was just because I'm in a hemp group and they just legalized weed, I think in Mississippi. But in order to get in the game, I think it's like I think they said 20 G's for the application and then another 15 G's.
Yeah.
Something like that. So fuck legalizing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fuck legalizing it. Make the shit to where I can grow it outside with my tomatoes. That's what I want. I don't want, because when they legalize it, then they really go hard on motherfuckers. I mean, think about cigarettes and liquor. That shit legal, but try to sell that shit. They gonna kick in your door like you running a crack house. You know what I'm saying? So like fuck legalize. Make it to where it's decriminalized, where this shit ain't looked at no different than my tomatoes in my garden. Because it's spring here, man. And I'm really looking forward to getting outside this year. But
I think you got to do both, though. In order to decriminalize it, you have to legalize it. You have to remove the legal restrictions on it. You have to say, okay, the possession of it. What they say, possession is 9/10 of the law. Is that what they say? I don't know. I'm trying to.
Okay.
Most of the time, brothers who say that has been to court a whole bunch of times, and I haven't been.
That also mean knowledge.
Okay. So I'm on the right track.
Also a lot of funding. I believe for teenagers, people trying to go to school, and agriculture. I posted that link a couple months ago when I went to that session for the youth. I was saying all the different things they had available for them as far as trades and interns. And
there's a Wisconsin college. I forgot which one right now, but they specialize in the horticulture of hemp.
Yeah, so we definitely got a lot of funding if people want to get into that.
You posted it, Courtney. What was it? Now you said it
was a paper. Because I was at the event at the Black Historical Society. So it was a paper. I'll go through my page and I'll repost it or pin it so it'll be at the top.
Yeah, I would tell anybody.
It was a paper with a whole bunch of links to different shit, and it was maybe about 7 photos of different shit saying how to get involved. And I think it was through Lakeisha Meyer. She the one that held it. So yeah.
Okay. And so we should understand right now with inflation the way it is, urban agriculture is can be a boom for us, because eventually we're gonna have to stop fucking with these stores. As goddamn
inflation, food shortages.
Like, come on, man. Right. I'm in there looking at some shit that was $3 a month ago. You took $7.50. What?
I'm gonna chop up my whole backyard.
Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be the move.
Do it
for us, and I
think man.
Less than the likelihood that you get fucked over by Monsanto and all these people who put in heaven knows what. And that's what I say. People say, all I eat is vegetables. Well, where are you buying them from? Because there is such thing as pesticides that's being put on vegetables as well, which a lot of them have carcinogens in them, and they affect us in all kinds of different ways. But people be like, all I eat is pick and save vegetables. Okay, good luck. We'll see. And then you have a tumor on your tongue. You don't know why.
What we don't understand though is even if it's organic, right? Like even if it ain't been hit with none of them chemicals, commercial agriculture depletes the soil to the point where you would have to eat 26 apples today to equal an apple that they ate 50 years ago. So most sickness come from toxin or deficiency. Like with me fucking with plants, it helped me learn the human body better. And most illnesses down the line, either some shit in your body that don't need to be in it, or your body ain't getting enough of some shit that it need. So in plants, like you could eat all the apples, oranges. I think it take 8 oranges to equal an orange 50 years ago. Like we have to get educated on like the way I grow shit. I do regenerative agriculture. I put the nutrients back in the soil because that's what keeps the soil healthy. Is honestly the life cycle. Shit dying, growing, dying, growing. That's what creates good soil. You know, but when you have commercial agriculture, that shit's so depleted that they gotta spray it with nutrients. Then the crops is weak, so then they can't naturally fight off pest and fungus because their immune system was fucked up by what was put in it that then we put in ourselves and wonder why our immune system be fucked up. But exactly, so that's why I try to teach people to grow shit. And honestly, I grew some strawberries last year, fam. Well, the year I planted them the year before that, but they run for a year. But the year they finally flowered and gave me some strawberries, man, I can't ever go back to store-bought strawberries because I ain't even gonna say they were sweeter, but they legit tasted more berryish. I can't even explain it. Like when you eat it and exhale out your nose, it's like, damn, this is a badass strawberry right here. You know, but so when you go back to the store, shit, it tastes like water.
Hey, now hold on. Now you wasn't high when you was eating that strawberry, was you? You done paused that. Like,
hey man, you know,
when you be high, it should be incredible.
Statistically speaking, there's a better chance that I was than I wasn't. You know,
right? That's why that motherfucker was sore. That motherfucker organic,
right? But then I put onions in my strawberry bed, and the sulfur from the onions helped the strawberry. Like even that companion planting. Like we gotta learn this shit, man.
Okay, we gotta have brothers that bring this information forth. This is what the word mob is all about, man. This is why it's so important to be able to have our own forums and our own platforms to spread the information and spread positivity. I want to shout out everybody in the chat room. I want to shout y'all out, man, because all of y'all do y'all thing, and I be seeing y'all put up different posts, right? Like, so a lot of times I'll be like, damn, that was some dope shit that was said. So I really want to give each one of y'all, and I'm saying Kamar, you, Courtney, and Real a moment.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, just to be able to just do, because I see y'all videos, right? And I'll be like, man, I be feeling proud because I'm like, well, they, you know, that's my crew right there. But, you know, and so Courtney, we can start with you. You had a post up and you was talking about some relationship roles. So you want to kind of touch on that before we move out of here? I want people to be able to hear some of that information.
Okay, first off, we're gonna talk about this book because I ain't talking about no book on Monday. Sound effects. Ooh. So this is Keys to Healing and Self-Mastery according to the Hathers, a guide for emotional and self-mastery, healing, and stress management. Work on yourself, big babies. You know, this is by Ricardo B. Serrano. Ricardo! Yay, my brains.
Ricardo!
I have no sound effect for that, right?
So the roles in relationships is even something I've dealt with. People do not have conversations about roles and shit. People don't, hey man, do you expect me, are you used to motherfuckers making the bed? So you expect me to make the bed every day. So you and to cook and to take care of the kids. Oh, and you want me to take out the trash and go get oil change. Like people don't talk about this. And it's you get in these relationships and you find yourself doing shit that you didn't sign up for, that you didn't want to do. And you're like, hey man, I don't like this shit. You know, and then the other person over there chilling, and you're like, this motherfucker don't do nothing. Y'all never had a conversation about what y'all expected or what y'all wanted or what you're used to. People just hop in like, shit, well, you cool and I'm cool and we have some good sex. This shit could probably work out. This could work. It'd be like that. Yeah. So we need to have conversations about real things. You know, even with kids, people don't even, I know I had a homeboy that said people put more effort into buying a dog than learning about the person they're having a kid with. You do. You want to know about papers, want to know about parents and shit. Do they got shots? You want to know all types of shit. But when it comes to us dating and getting knocked up by somebody or knocking somebody up, you fuck around, don't really know that person until sometimes they don't know the person at all. He had kids and still don't really know him, or you might start learning about him later. It's crazy. And we have whole children with these people who don't know shit about them. Got all types of mental disorders, and your parents was crackheads, and we done had babies. Now my kids got crackhead grandparents. But the fuck? So yeah, just conversations matter.
Yes, entirely. And I can tell you, I've been married 20 years, and that's a continuous thing. Expectations.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's not a conversation you have and then put it up on the wall like there go our expectations. They are forever changing because your situation is forever changing. So sometimes you got to be the bug, and sometimes you got to be the windshield. Sometimes you got to smash, sometimes you got to get smashed, and both partners got to let their partner be great when it's time to. So when it's her time to do her thing, you got to support that. When it's his time, she got to support that and create some balance. And it's something that you struggle to do, honestly, in a marriage, because you start to feel like, well, oh, why did I just leave my plate on the table? And the woman is like, so you expect me to be your maid? Like, I don't mind cleaning up. I'm going to do it, but don't be treat me like I'm Alice around here. It's not my job to clean up after you. So it is healthy to have those conversations.
And some women are super masculine. The thing with the energy, sometimes we are in different energies. Woman is in the masculine energy. She's so used to doing everything on her own and having to be, I guess, kind of like a man and woman. And some guys are just nowadays in their feminine energy. They just want to relax and chill and do nothing to be treated and, kind of leech. And it's different nowadays, so we got to get back into our natural energies. Also, the men need to get back into their masculines. You know what I'm saying? And we need to get back into our feminine. It's a lot of females not in their feminine energy. That's why I call them hood niggas, because they be like hood niggas. They be like niggas.
Yeah, we live in the era of the homosexual. This is the homosexual era, no doubt. Rail, you had a joint up that was pretty progressive too that I seen. I was like, oh, I shared it in the People's News Network. You want to elaborate on it?
That was just managing your perception and your focus. How I was speaking to, we control how we feel, whether you're aware that you control it or unaware, you still control it. So you control how you feel by what thoughts you focus on. So your mind don't know the difference between reality or imagination. That's why you could think about some scary shit and your heart start beating fast. You might start sweating, because your mind can't differentiate that. So what I try to teach people is like cheat codes, little brain cheat codes, man. When you start feeling fucked up or your mind, because like I said before, energy is infinite. So if you start going down that negative train of thought, until you consciously decide to turn that bitch around and go the other direction, you're gonna infinitely go down that negative thing. So that's why I try to just teach people that be more aware of what you're thinking and be the observer of your thoughts. Understand that if these thoughts are producing a feeling or mind state that you don't desire, you have the power to shift that shit. You can always think of something to improve your mood. So that's what I teach. I mean, if you feeling fucked up, smile for 30 seconds. By smiling for 30 seconds, you override your brain into producing serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins. It's a happy hormone cocktail. Our body is a machine. Our thoughts produce feelings. Our feelings produce chemicals that tell our body what to do and shit like that. So it's just more so about mastering your mindset so that you are telling you how to feel instead of letting the world tell you how to feel.
So we talking about the power of affirmations, or is that
affirmations are dope because when you speak things, it brings it to your frontal cortex. It puts your focus back on it. Because I could say I want to lose weight all day, but I understand my subconscious runs 95% of my day. I'm only focused on losing weight 5% of my day when I'm intentionally thinking about it. Now, when I'm not intentionally thinking about it, I'm on autopilot doing the shit that my body used to doing every day, eating what it want to eat, when it want to eat, all that shit. So that's why affirmations are good, because you program the subconscious through repetition, patterns, and melody, shit like that. Okay. So that's why affirmations are good. Visualizations help you create new neural connections in your mind, so that when you get that new desired outcome in life, you don't fuck it up because it's unfamiliar to you. Like I said before, we get addicted to the bullshit if it's familiar. So visualizing helps because they show scientifically that you can show somebody how to play a piano and have them practice it in their mind, and they'll develop the same neural connections as somebody that practice piano every day. So when you think about like the Buddhist monks and shit, they always did them karate katas and shit. With it teaches muscle memory, because your body can do shit better than your mind can. The trick is training your body to do it so your mind ain't got to think about it. So that's where affirmations come in and visualization.
Now I can connect that with my brother, Mr. Carter, because I know you got all kinds of stuff popping with new flavors of vitality, but it's about to be summer. So I know you're about to be busy on being at different events, being out in the community. And I keep telling you, I'm willing to help you kind of put this curriculum together for your consultation services to try to get people on the path. Like y'all here in the beginning of the show was a lot of emotion and a lot of vigor in expressing. Like, I put this together. I did the lessons. I did the math. I did the work. It's a path to get there. And I'm saying we need to be more accommodating to people who looking for it and offer some services to get there. So in terms of what he just talked about with positive affirmations and we talking about food and its connection to where we are, elaborate on that and like kind of drop a gem for the people to connect what they eat with how everything is going in their lives. Like what you taking in, what you putting into your body. How does that how can that really assist us in improving the quality of life?
Well, you look at your organs, right? Every organ has certain minerals that it needs to function. You know what I mean? Your brain is an organ, right? So when you start getting your brain the right minerals that it needs to function, it can start functioning better. Then you start talking about your breathing. When you start breathing right, so your brain needs oxygen too. So when you breathing right, you know what I'm saying? Your brain is functioning better. You starting to come with the right thoughts. You in the more peaceful mode, the more relaxing mode, because you're breathing right and because all that's happening. But you know what I mean? Basically, that's just how it works. It's just as simple as that. You know what I mean? Getting the right minerals in your body that you need, feeding your brain what it needs. You're drinking water even, because your brain is 80% water. You know what I mean? If you dehydrated, you know what I mean, that can affect your brain too, right? You think about
water, because the tap water is bad, bottled water is bad. What kind of water? What do I need to be drinking?
Well, listen, man, any water is better than no water.
Okay.
Or you go to Woodman's and get spring
you know
water.
What I mean?
Like
then I like to tell I like to tell people any water is better than no water first. You know what I'm saying? First off, otherwise try to find some natural spring water.
Okay.
And if you can't find out if they bottling it at the source.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Yeah. But then, if you somewhere where it ain't no bottled water which you normally drink, some other kind of water gonna be just as fine. Or it ain't gonna be just as fine, but it's gonna hydrate you too.
Okay. Drink some water, have positive affirmations, right? Like know your role in society, not just in your relationship, in society. Know your role. Can't be a jack of all trades. I do want to say this.
And breathe.
Yeah, we need to start the discussion with our
breathe.
And law enforcement officials. We need to start getting rid of these goddamn police dogs. Symbolically, what they mean to us as Black people, in terms of a runaway slave, and what the first thing they do, they put the hounds on you. I seen some video where there was a cop trying to sick the dogs on some young Black kids, and the dog got pissed off and turned around and bit the cop. Right? Get rid of the damn dogs. There's no need. And a dog, an animal is attacking you, trying to tear your ass out. You turn around and smack the dog. It's like hitting a cop. You need to get rid of those dogs, man.
Right.
We need to start that conversation right now with law enforcement. Start bringing down the dog involvement less and less. Drug sniffing dogs, fine, utilize those dogs. But these dogs you letting loose on, go get him, and he find me and tear me to pieces. Come on, man, because basically you issuing a punishment before I've even had a trial and even going
Right.
to court. So anything that's punitive to that level before I'm convicted, it should be eliminated, including police being able to knock you upside your head when you are compliant and handcuffed or down on your stomach or in the car reaching for your license and they pull out a gun and shoot your ass 6 or 7 times. Black people really don't have a problem with law enforcement. We have a problem with the way it's done in this country. So, and I also want to say this before I leave y'all. Now, Kamar, where you gonna be at this weekend? Because like I said, the weather's changing. You got some events. Anybody got any events?
Yeah, I'll be at the Sherman Phoenix Saturday. It ain't no event going on, but I'm gonna be there. So it's an event.
Okay.
I got events like June, July. Well, so far, Discovery, the Makers Market. That's like June, July, leave June. But you know, we working on some stuff coming. I got to see what's coming up for May and stuff. I was gonna do the blackout, but that shit is coming too close. It's April 16th. That shit a little too close. I need some time. Got to create some stuff. You know, but we come with new products, yo. Alki's Wellness. That's me.
Really, y'all need to get all this stuff in the People's Network. You got the books. Where you gonna be at? You got to start getting somewhere with the books. You holding on to it. You holding back.
Yeah, man. Actually, we were supposed to throw a event in February that got postponed to June. This organization I'm in called the Brotherhood 414. We working towards like healing, you know, helping men heal. So we shooting for around Father's Day now. While it'll be warmer, we maybe could do it outside and give each other a little more space to heal and shit. But so yeah, and then also I do plan on getting out here at these pop-up shops now. And that's one thing I was telling myself about this year. I got to get out here and mingle with the people. I got books, I got hemp, I got health and beauty products, I got all kinds of shit I can set up shop with. And that's actually my goal this year is to get out here more and get known.
That's right, man. We can talk a good game, but we really got to be about it. Let me find out some of y'all still going out here to this goddamn Waukesha skate land or Kenosha, wherever the hell it's at, who had the policy about not letting black kids in. And some of you Negroes still got the audacity to go out there and patronize that business. It should be shut down. I don't want you to give me some kind of post now via social media talking about letting everybody in and how it's all inclusive. It should have been like that in the first place. And to say that you're going to pick and filter through us as a people and say these are good niggers and these are bad niggers and these are kind of niggers that we'll let in and these are the kind that we won't is shameful. And the fact that we don't police each other enough and we don't have the ability to police each other if we are in these establishments and we see some of us clowning and people say, I try, I want to get hit, but we still need to be going to our youth in those establishments saying, yo, y'all got to chill, man, because it's going to reflect bad on all of us. But I'm getting back to the topic. And that is, we should not be patronizing this business. We have enough vacant commercial real estate in this city to have our own skating rink. There's no reason we have to travel to the suburbs and get mistreated and go to Wauwatosa, especially where they super anti-Negro and risk getting your shit split in that damn mall. We have enough space to have our own malls.
In the Northridge area.
And we got Butler skate rink. I don't know why they was out there. We still got Butler. And it's still popping.
Can I be real though? Like if I had a skating rink, I wouldn't want our team there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because let's be real, man. Let's talk about all the problems that come with it. They ain't learned how to act yet.
I tell you what.
You know what I mean? Like, cause see, if I had a skating ring, I would want to be able to keep the skating ring around.
Right. And you know what? If you have a skating rink and you don't want black kids there because of their behavior, then that's all the more reasoning for black people to establish our own so we can police our own. Right. Because guess what? Well, you ain't gonna handle them right in the first place. And you don't really understand how our behavior and our culture. So what you might interpret as some drama or them being on some bullshit could simply just be them being them. Right. So anytime you pass and judge on us and attributing crime, problems, or dysfunction with our color specifically, then I have a problem with you. And I also say if our kids are that bad, once again, it's more reasoning for us to say, no, you can't go out there. We're going to have our own. We shouldn't even have to go all the way to Butler. We should have one on Fond du Lac. We should be able to have these kinds of things in our community. So that way we can tell them, no, y'all ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to worry about that. Because if you make enough money in your business to keep it going, and to have improvements and all of this, that's money you making on our back. So why not take that money and take the right precautions to create security so these things can be regulated. There's a way to do it, or there's a way to pass the blame, and that's also to assume that white kids ain't doing some bullshit too. So they skating, they probably going outside smoking meth and all kinds of shit. Hell, the owners might be developing and processing that shit in the basement. If you don't like black people, we don't like you, and that's why we should build our own shit. And that's like the whole message here. And so we do have a problem with our youth. Our youth do go places and act a fool. But once again, I believe that's a moment for us to say, okay, it's time for us to take this shit and by the horns and say, let's get our kids together. That's a whole show. That's a whole different discussion in itself. But once again, I think we have to have solidarity. And if you won't let one of us in, you shouldn't let none of us in. And that's how we should process it. Because if I'm a black man and I'm in there with my kids and I see a young person making a mistake, first thing I'm gonna say is, first of all, that's what young people do. They make mistakes. They need guidance. And I know we get rowdy. They get rowdy, but they get rowdy on Brady Street too. They get rowdy on college campuses all over town. They get rowdy when they win a hockey championship and riot and turn over cars and burn buildings. We just dismiss all that shit and focus on ban them then. That's our solution for black people. But we don't do it to nobody else, right? So I just think we shouldn't patronize that business. I do understand if I'm out there with my kids and some kids go to fight, and I'm gonna be pissed like, damn, I can't take my baby nowhere. But what I should be mad about is the fact that there's no place for me to take my kid in my community. So he or she can have that same experience that's made safe for us by us. So that's kind of like my point in that. I always tell people, man, we got to stop being so judgmental. It's divisive. It's divisive. I can't criticize you because you eat pork, and you can't criticize me because I don't. It is what it is, right? We need to be looking at the big picture, which is that we all need freedom to a certain degree, and we all need to be free from these systematic ills that's been burdening us for so long. Because as long as they can pluck some of us and say, well, I wasn't talking about you. You a good nigger. Here's yours. Don't tell him about it. We don't want him to know. As long as you be good, I'm going to take care of you. Just give me a little information every now and then and do some things for me. And one of us go, I sure will. Until we get away from that mentality, our community is going to continue to be shitty, man. So peace and love to everybody who tuned in, man. I love the support we get from the chat room. I love the people who hit the Cash App and understand that this shit ain't free. Take $1 to make a dream go. And I can't say I'm bidding farewell to this location. I'm going back into my studio, which I'm rebuilding and refurbishing. It's going to be a very beautiful place with a lot of good chi centering, so I can go down there and burn incense and meditate and just really center myself. So y'all see me sitting Indian style on the floor on the next show with the Gandhi thing. Okay, nah, that ain't gonna happen.
Hey, can we come to the studio? I'm just saying though, since all the funding is going to the studio that we can't even see.
You know what? That'd be beautiful. But my wife is like, COVID ain't no joke. Like, ain't nobody coming in this house no more. So we gonna have to figure out a location to transfer the refurbishments to in order to do that. But I just appreciate the support, man. And I'm gonna be happy to be back in my studio. I'm tired of acting like I'm just sitting in my room somewhere. This ain't even my bedroom. So peace and love to y'all, man. Get some Nature's Nature juice. Get the new flavors of vitality. Get the books from Rail. Holler at the juice lady. Get your Alkeys products, man. Let's support us. Let's do us, man. And in the words of Willie D, where's my goddamn trophy? Y'all thought I was gonna talk about his other song. I'm talking about that. See y'all tomorrow night on Outlaw Nation.